And we got 3 extra days for you folks in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to get out and vote early. And we have a very simple message. It's very clear. Don't cheat in our elections, because if you do, we will find you, we will track you down, and we will prosecute you to the full extent of the law. That's simple. We want free, fair, and transparent elections. And by the way, do you guys know this? We offered for our friends over at the DNC to come join us in our pursuit of election integrity. Now, we have yet to hear back on that, but we do still have around 24 hours, so I'll let y'all know if they give us a call. But don't hold your breath. It has also been such an honor to be right there fighting side by side with the greatest president this country has ever seen, a man I'm proud to call my father-in-law, Donald J. Trump, from day one. But you guys probably feel this way too. Isn't it a little bit bittersweet? Like, we're 24 hours away. Guys, we have lived history. Let's face it, there's never going to be another Donald Trump. Right? A guy who controlled them so hard, they're mad about him working at McDonald's. A week later, he trolls them so hard, he's driving a garbage truck to a rally in Wisconsin. There'll never be anything like this again. It's absolutely incredible. And so I've kind of been trying to figure out, how do I really feel right now? Because this is such a big day tomorrow. But it is a little bit bittersweet. And I also think about the fact that Donald Trump never needed this job, guys. Remember that, right? He had fame, he had fortune, and if you wondered if he had fortune, he would tell you he had fortune, right? He was a household name. Everybody knew Donald Trump. But there's a very famous Oprah Winfrey interview back in the 80s when she famously asked Donald Trump, would you ever run for president of the United States? And you know what he told her? He said, only if things got so bad, I felt I had no other option. Only if the country needed me. Well, guess what? That's exactly why he ran in 2016, because the country needed him. That's exactly why he ran again in 2020, because he wasn't done. The country still needed him. And that is why, despite every single thing thrown his way, the attacks, the lies, the smears, the impeachments, the indictments, the mugshot that is the greatest mugshot the world has ever seen, even an assassin's bullet, Donald Trump said, I am not done because this country needs me. And let's face it, this country right now needs Donald Trump more than we ever have before, ladies and gentlemen. That's why tomorrow is such a big deal. Now, can I get a show of hands? Who in here voted early in Pennsylvania? Okay, now I love that. But here's what else I love. The rest of y'all that didn't raise your hands, tell me who's voting tomorrow here in Pennsylvania. You absolutely love to see it. I gotta tell you guys something. The Democrats are getting a little nervous right now. Have you noticed? The vote totals aren't really checking out for them in some of these states in the early voting, because we have absolutely killed them in the early vote totals all across the country. So get ready for tomorrow. And when you guys go out tomorrow, now you know not to go empty-handed. Pick up your friends, pick up your family, your dentist, your pediatrician, your veterinarian. I don't care. If you gotta buy them a sandwich or mow their lawn, do it if they're going out to vote for Donald Trump and you take them to vote with you tomorrow, okay? Can we do that? So listen, as bittersweet as this kind of is for all of us in the Trump family, this is also very exciting, because what I've come to realize and what I think we're all feeling right now in this country is that tomorrow is not the end. Tomorrow is the beginning. Yeah. It's the beginning of a new era in the United States of America, and I'm going to make a prediction right now. Despite all that this man has had against him, despite how much they've attacked him and fought against Donald Trump, it will be Donald J. Trump who unifies this country, who brings us back together, and finally restores the American dream for the United States of America. So I got to say thank you to you guys. You guys are not just part of a political movement, you are part of our family. We love you. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for everything, for the support, for the love, for the prayers. We have all felt them time and time again. And we are so appreciative. We love you too. Thank you. And so I want you guys to remember this. Tomorrow night is the beginning, because it's not just that Donald Trump is going to make America great again. He's going to make America greater than ever before. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Pennsylvania. Get out and vote. I love
you. One man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet whom millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
Welcome to the second installment of the Trump Rally Marathon. Today we've got 4 marathons. Trump is supposed to be up on stage at 2 o'clock, which obviously isn't happening. He's backed up. He was almost 40 minutes late for the initial rally in Raleigh. He's late, obviously, coming in for this one, but that's all right. We can cover some ground here. I don't know if you guys, when you got off of the last rally or what you've been doing for the last couple hours, but oh my God, things are getting crazy. And I mean absolutely squirrely crazy. These people are losing their flipping minds. They're going nuts. They can see the writing on the wall at this point. It's amazing. This comment came in a second ago, and I want you, when you read this comment, I want you to grasp what she says here. This is from somebody, could be a man, Underwater Man says, and a poll worker here in California, told me Trump and Harris are in a dead heat here in early voting. Think about what that said. In California, they're in a dead heat. I can't even fathom. Could you even imagine if California fell to Donald Trump? Liberal heads would explode across the nation. You'd see people jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. I mean, that's their stronghold. That's the last bastion of liberal nuttiness. And you're telling me that Trump is neck and neck with Harris in California, her own state, where Gavin Newsom is from? No wonder they're boarding places up in Oregon and Washington State and Washington, D.C. We might be looking at something epic. I mean, epic. I can't even imagine that Trump would be close to Kamala Harris in California. If you live in California and you're seeing the same thing, please let me know, because I find that just shocking beyond shocking. I look at California like this. Nah, don't even pay any attention to it. And now we're finding out that they might be in a dead heat in California? What in the heck is going on? What are people seriously waking up that much that they think that, hey, listen, these people are nuts? These people are crazy. The messaging that they've put out doesn't make any sense. I don't want to be a part of this communist crap. Newsom has run us into the ground here. Can we get away? Many of us have talked over the last few months, and we just shake our head and go, how can this race even be close? How can people be looking at prosperity and communism and censorship and going, yeah, give me some of that? I posted some things on X today that I could never post here on YouTube. If you guys haven't seen it, I posted something about Lady Gaga and something incredibly vile that she did on stage. I can't even describe it here because they would flip the switch on me. See, that's one of the problems. When you can't say what you see, that they put out there, when you can't tell people, hey man, you need to see this craziness, there's two things with that. One, they don't want you basically spreading their insanity. And secondly, they don't want you spreading their insanity. See, you may see something, but hey, don't tell other people about what you saw. We can't have that. We can't have people actually consuming insanity, even though it's ours. We're on the left. I just hope that tomorrow Trump, I know he's going to win. I just hope that he wins so big that he tears down the pillars of everything the Democrats have fought and prospered and shoved down our throat. If I never see another pride parade, I'll be happy. If I never see another drag show, I'll be happy. If I never have to worry about what I say, as long as I'm not naming somebody, if I can talk about an ideology freely, I'll be happy. I hope all of those pillars come tearing down. I hope he goes in and says we're not going to pay any income tax. There is so much of how he could reshape this country and put these people back under the rocks from which they crawled out of. I don't care what you do in the comfort of your own house or bedroom. That's your business. It's always been your business. You shouldn't be blaring a tuba at me and telling me I have to accept your business. We're over that. It's done. Now it's a matter of getting out the broom and the dustpan and putting it back in the trash where it's supposed to be. I don't mean trash. I mean, metaphorically speaking. Do what you want to do, how you want. Live your life. As long as you're not, hurting kids or anybody. But other than that, have at it. You don't need to blare it at me. I don't need to accept. I don't need to basically embrace your lifestyle. I don't ask you to embrace my lifestyle. I don't like broccoli. No, I'm sorry. I like broccoli. I don't like Brussels sprouts. I don't want you telling me I got to eat Brussels sprouts. I don't want you forcing Brussels sprouts down my throat. That's the kind of life you should be able to live. You want to eat Brussels sprouts? You go ahead and roast them, boil them, do whatever you do with Brussels sprouts. Don't expect me to ask Robin to go buy a big old bushel of Brussels sprouts. Ain't happening. So that's going to be my new terminology in addition to Transformers. It's going to be Brussels sprouts. I don't like Brussels sprouts. I don't want any of that Brussels sprout stuff in my house. I don't care what recipe that you have. I ain't eating it. And I'm not asking you to eat what I eat. Let's be America. As long as you're not physically hurting somebody, your feelings kind of, go back to the old sticks and stones thing. We've went way too far as an American people to overcompensate people because they might get their flippin' feelings hurt. To the point where you can't say certain words because it might be offending somebody. What about us? You don't think we're offended with what they're doing? You got this percentage of the country basically dictating to the rest of us what we can or can't say. What we can or can't do because this percentage of the country might get upset. So all the rest of us have to deal with pronouns and all this other stuff when just do you. Don't worry about me. I'm over it. The consequences of this election are going to be far-reaching. And so you may be saying, Barry, what have you been seeing? So some data came out. It's just like, oof. Don't you want to say the word landslide? You're afraid to say the word landslide? Those of you who might just be like, let's not get overconfident. All right, well, having played football, just imagine you looking up on the scoreboard. And you're looking up on the scoreboard and you see about 2 minutes and 10 seconds left. And with that 2 minutes and 10 seconds left, you're up by 21 points. You're feeling really good, aren't you? You're feeling like, we got this. There's only 2 minutes left and we're up by 20 points or so. We got this, right? That's the kind of confidence I'm talking about. The kind of confidence where I'm like, as long as we don't screw this up, we're good. We're gonna win. Coach, go ahead and put the second team in because we don't want anybody on the first team getting hurt because it's 2 minutes left and they got one timeout. They have one timeout and 2 minutes. And our varsity, Trump, Laura Trump, Eric Trump, Elon, J.D. Vance, Vivek Ramaswamy, Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr., our varsity has put us ahead. Our big boys right now have punched us down to the 1 yard line with 2 minutes left, and we still are up 21 points. We just need to get it into the end zone and make the time irrelevant. We got to get to tomorrow at about 11 o'clock. Because I know there's some states doing some crazy stuff, but it might not matter. It might not matter at all what these people are doing. Imagine that. So let me show you something that Trump, his team released. They released some confidential data. And this confidential data, you would never think somebody would release this information. Well, they've released this information obviously for two reasons. One, to put the scare of God into these Democrats. And at the 2 minute warning going, show me how you're going to make up this. And when you get desperate, when you start trying to do flea flickers and throw home run Hail Marys, what happens? Most of the time you screw up. Like Laura Trump said, if you cheat, we're going to catch you and you're going to go to jail. So I think by releasing the data I'm going to show you, they're saying, look, what are you going to do? You're down by 21 points and there's only 2 minutes left. What are you going to do? And I think when people see this data, they're going to go, oh my God, oh my God, we got to do something. Just pack up a whole bag of ballots. Let's do something. And because when you get desperate, that's when you screw up. You watch any football game, at the end, when they're trying to throw the long passes and they're doing the razzle-dazzles because nothing else has worked all game long. And now you're at that point where you got to make something happen. You're doing loop-de-loops and you're trying to do all kinds of different things. And then eventually you fumble or you get intercepted. Very, very seldom does the Hail Mary work. And then the Hail Mary when you're down 3 touchdowns, well, that don't matter. You can go ahead and convert the one Hail Mary. You still got to get the ball back after I get it and score 2 more times. You see, we're not down 7 points. I mean, we're not ahead 7 points with 2 minutes left. We're up about 21 points with 2 minutes left. That's when you start sitting back and going, put the subs in. We're good. We're good. Just you guys play way back, wait for them to screw up and catch that interception. I'm going to convince you of that right now. So the Trump organization put out some data points that are absolutely astounding. Astounding. Let's look. In Arizona, the urban turnout is down, i.e., in the hood. You know, where the Democrats usually get most of their votes. Those are the ones that come in late at night. Well, we're still waiting for the inner city. We're still waiting for like Detroit and Philadelphia and the XYZ neighborhood in the hood, because those are the ones they usually do their funny business with. The urban turnout in Arizona is down 385,000 votes compared to this point in 2020. Let that sink in. 385,000 votes to the negative. You tell me at 2 minutes, with 2 minutes left, how you're going to overcome that. The female turnout. Oh, women hate Trump. Oh, she's going to get out the females. The women. They're down 170,000 with 2 minutes left. Negative 170,000 from 2020 when Joe won. The rural turnout is up 14,000 compared to this point in 2020. Georgia, on my mind. Georgia, the urban turnout is negative 154,000 voters. The female turnout is negative 47,000 voters compared to 2020 when Joe won. Meanwhile, the rural turnout is up 171,000 votes. Those of you who don't understand what rural means, that usually means Trump City. That means Trumpville. And it's up 171,000. In Arizona, it's up 14,000. Let's continue. Michigan. Michigan. This one is, I don't like saying over. People say, Barry should say it. Well, you read this data and tell me what you're thinking with 2 minutes left. The urban turnout is down 321,000 votes from 2020. The female turnout is down 205,000 votes from 2020. Meanwhile, the rural is up 56,000 votes from 2020. And then the last one here is North Carolina, where Trump was this morning. Urban turnout, I love how they just use that word, urban turnout, is down 175,000 votes from 2020. And the female turnout is down 155,000 since 2020. You see what's happening here? You got your cigar ready? It's not time to light it yet, but you better go get the cigar, pack it, make sure it's ready, because there's 2 minutes left, and these guys are down quite a bit. This is why people are saying, hey man, this thing might be over before we even get to the day of. I mean, that's a lot of ground to make up when you're down 350,000. It's almost uncheatable. Or dare I say, too big to rig. Too big to rig. But I got more for you. Let's go. This is finishing up North Carolina, and the rural turnout is up 27,000. Nevada. The urban turnout is down 191,000 from 2020. The female turnout is down 126,000. You getting bored with these numbers, or are you looking at me and like salivating and going, oh man, oh, give me some more of this. All right, let's continue. Pennsylvania. The urban turnout is down 381,000 votes. 381,000 to the negative. The female turnout, even worse, is down 450,000 from 2020. Let's go to Wisconsin. Urban turnout is down 100,000, almost 101,000, the urban turnout. And the female turnout is down 238,000 votes compared to 2020. You salivating? You got the drool going yet? Because oh my God. Trump's team said, throw it out there, let him have it. I'm sure Kamala's team already had it. This is for the media, and this is for you and me and everybody else to see, oh my God, what's going on here? What do we do? Because now he's letting everybody know, we got you. Check effing mate. You don't have enough in the back to make up what you've lost in the front. And when you try, and when you get desperate, and you start throwing Hail Marys, we're watching. Go ahead, give it a shot. Have your newcomers show up. Do all the stuff that you need to do. So when that woman or man earlier said that California was neck and neck, that makes me stutter. Because it's more than likely that's the same thing that's happening in California. People aren't tracking that because they're only tracking, basically the so-called battleground states. But if the battleground states are to the point where they're doing this kind of stuff, Katie barred the door. Shit's about to hit the fan. Are we going to see Virginia go down? Are we going to see Oregon? Are we going to see Washington State? Are we going to see blue states that we're not even thinking about? Are we going to see them collapse and go to Trump? Is that why they're boarding everything up out there? I want to show you what's happening. I started to show you a little bit yesterday as J.D. Vance talked in New Hampshire. Let's talk about what's going on in New Hampshire right now.
I'll give you one to look at early on election night, and it's New Hampshire. Polls closed mostly at 7 o'clock. Biden won this by 7. 2016, though, this was the closest state that Clinton won, that she came the closest to losing. Look at that, a 3,000 vote margin. J.D. Vance is in New Hampshire today for the Trump campaign. This could be an early test if, in general, things are happening outside the battleground we haven't been talking about.
It's 5:20, and this is the crowd at the J.D. Vance event in Derry, New Hampshire.
So I showed this last night. This was people waiting to get in to hear J.D. Vance in New Hampshire. Never thought you'd see New Hampshire be in this much play. that the line just goes on and on and on, waiting to hear J.D. Vance. This is crazy. This is crazy town. I showed this to you guys late last night. And as people were watching this, I was thinking to myself, can you even fathom that this is happening in New Hampshire? And now not only can I fathom it, I see it happening across the board. And the media can't recover from this. They've been lying their butts off. If this is what we're going to see tomorrow, if all of this basically happens, be ready. Be ready, because these people are losing it. Absolutely losing it. And we're going to listen to a little bit of what J.D. Vance told these people last night in New Hampshire. Because I can't even believe, I'm from Connecticut, I can't even believe what we're seeing in this video. I can't believe that someone said earlier that they were neck and neck in California. Those data points I showed you are just absolutely stunning.
I think the state of New Hampshire and the people of our country, we need change. We need common sense. We need Donald J. Trump back in the White House, not more of the same broken policies. So let's just compare the policies, the proposals of Kamala Harris. When she's not copying from us, what is she actually saying that she wants to do for the people of New Hampshire? Well, number one, she's bragging. She's bragging that she wants to raise your taxes. She's going around saying that the Trump tax cuts that put more money in your pocket to the tune of thousands of dollars per family, she wants to get rid of those things and raise your taxes. We already know she wants to stick 87,000 IRS bureaucrats after the people of New Hampshire, and she's going to double down on those policies. She's telling us she is. Meanwhile, Donald J. Trump, you know what he thinks? He thinks you ought to keep more of your hard-earned money. Which is why he said we're not going to tax overtime, we're going to stop taxing Social Security, and we're going to let the American people keep more of their hard-earned money. That's it. You know, I grew up in a place that's cold, not as cold as New Hampshire. I'll tell you, I got off the plane today and I looked at my wife. By the way, isn't my wife beautiful? Thank you, honey, for campaigning with me.
Johnson.
She's my best friend, and it's great to go around the country and get to do this with your best friend by your side. But I get off the plane and I say, honey, it is cold out here. And then we're driving, and like 5 minutes after we get in the car, as we're driving here, I see like a 3-year-old in T-shirts and shorts. And I'm like, the people of New Hampshire are tougher than I am. But, you know, because I grew up in a family where we often struggled with money, and because I grew up in a place that does often get very cold in the winter, there were times when my mamaw, the woman who raised me, would sometimes say, look, we don't have the money to turn on the heat tonight. We're going to throw a few extra blankets on the bed, and that's how we dealt with a cold winter night. Now, Donald J. Trump and I believe that in this country, we are bountiful and prosperous enough where every American family, so long as they work hard and play by the rules, they ought to be able to turn their heat on in the middle of a cold winter night. And that's why one of the most important comparisons between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris is Kamala Harris wants to buy oil and gas from tin pot dictators all over the world. Donald J. Trump and I want to drill, baby, drill. We got plenty of it right here. Let's get it out of the ground with our own people. And speaking of cold, I know we've got some folks who obviously got an incredible crowd.
That funny sound you hear, the sound that you're hearing in the background, it sounds like a gerbil or somebody basically squirking. No, that's the crowd noise. It was so incredibly loud that I had to put it through a filter so that I could focus on you hearing JD and not so much of the background noise. Because these people, if I had left it the way it was, all you would be hearing would be the crowd noise. It was that loud. It was so crazy loud at this event. So I had to basically do a filter so that I could push the crowd noise down and bring his speech up. So that's all you're hearing right now is that.
There, we just want to tell you, we love you all. We're grateful that you came, and get out there and vote on Tuesday. And let's just talk about the stakes. Look, we talked about the stakes in this election. Let's talk about how important it is to get out there and vote, because the only way that we're going to switch out the corrupt leadership in Washington with a president who is fit to lead this great nation is if we get out there and vote. And so I want to make a request of every single person in this room, but also those who are listening outside. I want all of you to get out there and vote 10 times. Guy up here, he's like, this is not a Kamala Harris event. We only vote once here. We do it the legal way. Here is how we're going to vote 10 times the legal way. I want you to get yourself to the polls on Tuesday, and I want you to take 9 of your friends and family with you. That's how we vote 10 times. Because I think the biggest difference between Kamala Harris and Donald J. Trump, it's not actually just the public policy. There are so many issues where Kamala Harris has doubled down on bad policies that make life unaffordable and make the American dream less accessible. But with all those policy disagreements, I actually think the biggest difference between Kamala Harris and Donald J. Trump is that Kamala Harris, instead of trying to persuade all of you, instead of trying to claim that she's the right candidate, she's spending these last few days on the campaign trail, her and all of her buddies at the leadership levels of the Democratic Party, and they're basically attacking their fellow citizens. We saw this when Joe Biden, Kamala Harris's boss, called half of America garbage for thinking that Joe Biden, Kamala Harris did a bad job. You see this when Tim Walz, Kamala Harris's running mate, calls people fascists for showing up at a patriotic rally where we celebrate this country and talk about changing its leadership. You see this when Kamala Harris and all of his surrogates call people racist for believing that America ought to have a southern border. And here's my message to all of our fellow Americans. We know you're struggling, and we know that you deserve better leadership. But I will never, and Donald J. Trump will never, call our fellow citizens garbage. We are not garbage for thinking Kamala Harris has done a bad job. But while we're not garbage for thinking that Kamala Harris has done a bad job, I think in a couple days the voters of New Hampshire are going to take out the trash in Washington, D.C., and that person's name is Kamala Harris.
All right, so I'm sorry if that kind of like scared some people and are like, what? There's satanic voices in the background. No, again, sometimes you have to filter things out so people can actually hear what the speaker's saying because it's so doggone loud. You know, I've never seen crowds react the way they have for Trump and for J.D. Vance. They're screaming so loud, and you've seen some of the microphone problems Trump has had at some of his events. It's a sound man's nightmare. I mean, yeah, you've been to concerts and people are screaming, but they're screaming with instruments, and they probably got the highest quality mics everywhere and the best sound man and crew that you could possibly buy. These are political rallies. These aren't supposed to be concerts. They don't have that kind of quality people. They're doing their best, and these people are going absolutely nuts. So I'm looking at Reading, Pennsylvania right now on my monitor, and I showed you earlier that tweet, that post that David Korn from Mother Jones put up when he was trying to, talk crap about Trump. He's like, I'm here at the event, and starts in 10 minutes, and there's nobody here. Oh, And even I had to tweet to him and say, dude, you know, while you're putting this on X, you're too stupid to realize he's actually on stage right now at another event. These people, everyone who's in line, look on their phone, oh yeah, he's still talking in Raleigh right now. We got time. Let's hang out. We don't have to hurry. And probably for the most part, they were snaked around in line as well. But looking right now, as it's 2:51, as everyone's waiting for him to show up, it's a little bit of a different story. The place is packed. It's mobbed. Everybody's waiting for Trump to show up. So I was actually early in my timing here. I was like 2:15, 2:30. It's going on 3 o'clock, and he's still not on stage as of yet. They haven't even started the speakers. What you saw with Laura Trump early, that was an outside event. Those people, when I say outside, they had two events in one today. So they had basically the ladies of Trump who were talking to women at that early event, and then they did the same thing in Raleigh, and then they have this one, which is basically the full event, which we're waiting for. But it's so I noticed some of the chats as I'm watching, and I'm like, how can I be pissing people off by showing the data? There are some people who actually got pissed off because the data got shown. And it wasn't me making it up. I don't understand how that was offensive or overconfident or anything else. Let me just show you where I got the data from. Some of you guys may know who Caroline Leavitt is. Caroline Leavitt is Trump's National Press Secretary. Caroline Leavitt, by the way, tonight at Pittsburgh, Megyn Kelly's going to be on stage giving a speech. And this is the ladies that you just saw. And here's the information right here. It's further down. Bing, it's right there. She put out the campaign memo. That's what I just read to you. Why would you be upset that it came from her? I didn't go into any voting data and pull it. That's her job. Her job is to let you know that the numbers that they're seeing. The question people had is, why would she put it out? Why would she put out a confidential memo? I mean, if you looked deep in here, let me push this over. And it says Trump campaign, first it says confidential memorandum. It says to Trump campaign senior leadership team from, and it lists the consultant that they use. The subject is Democrat turnout problem heading into Election Day. Why did they release a confidential internal memo? So I'm going to take a hypothesis here, is that they wanted to let you know that it's becoming too big to rig. And I see still a lot of questions in the chat from people who are like, so what happens if they cheat here or cheat there? What they're outlining for you and what you have to take into account, and I'll try to break it down in the simplest terms of math. If there are only 1,000 people registered to vote in the state of Pennsylvania. Obviously, there's a lot more, but I'm using easy numbers so people can try to understand what's going on. If there are only 1,000 people registered to vote, I don't care if they're newcomers or whatever, you got a total of 1,000 people registered to vote. If you already are 380,000 votes behind, then you take that 380, or let's use easy math, 400, and there's only 600,000 on the back end, meaning day of. So if there's only 600,000 even available, remember there was 1,000, and the Republicans now have a 400,000 point lead. So let's say that's just a lead. That's not all of them. We don't know how many came in for the Democrats, but let's just say we count the lead as the total votes that came in, and you only have 600,000 available. In order to catch up, you're going to have to somehow show that you got what? In order to catch up that 400,000, and there's only 600,000 remaining, you're going to have to get 70 or 75% of the vote just to break even. That ain't going to happen. And they're letting people know in advance, your only chance is to even try to cheat. Your only chance is to try and throw 5 Hail Marys, and we're watching you. That's why he put that out there. It's almost like voter suppression for them. It's like, do you guys see this? You see how far ahead we are documented? Go ahead. See what you got to do. So at the same time, the people who were thinking about maybe executing something criminal, they got to be sitting back right now and going, hey, man, I don't know what we should do here. It's too big to rig. He got what he was hoping for. And so I don't understand why people are upset with me showing it, because she put it out there. And I think we should put it out there. I think we should blast it everywhere and let them know it's too big to rig. And right now, you're going to risk the entirety of your career trying to cheat. Comment here says, hey, Barry, I was wondering how the Democrats are going to get mail-in ghost voters. I don't think they're going to show up this time. I just told you. See, Steve Bannon yesterday said something. They had this huge amount of people voting, and Steve Bannon, I played it for you. What did he say? They don't exist. Imagine that. That big number that they had, many of it people found out were people who didn't exist. So you're not going to be able to replicate that in 2024, because the states have been purging rolls and taking dead people and all this stuff off. And so that mail-in ballot cushion that you were hoping for, it's not there. And that's why you see Laura Trump dancing on stage. And that's why you hear Trump when he comes out, he goes, yeah, I think we got it. I can't say for sure, there's still some time on the clock, but I think we got it. We just have to make sure that these people don't do some nefarious stuff, because since the early voting numbers have been published, those can't go backwards. Everybody's got their copies. Oh, we're up 381? Yeah. It can't go, oh, you're only up 110,000. We forgot that. No, that can't happen. I'm walking into the game tomorrow. Basically, here's what it says. I'm walking into the game tomorrow, and I'm up by 60. Let's see what happens. So not only do you have to make up 60 points, but you got to stop me from scoring. Because every time I score, it gets added to that 60. So if I go into the game 60-0, and I score 10 points, and I'm at 70, and you score 30, it's still 70-30. You don't have enough in the tank to beat me. And Trump's now at this point where he's like, here you go. Have at it. Get desperate, make a mistake. That's what it was about. Michelle Butler said, can't wait. Oh my God. Yeah. Gitmo for cheaters. They're watching these people, and you keep seeing what's happening in the courts, and at this point, it's got to be terrifying the people on the left. They what do you do? And then you see that in New Hampshire. You see lines around the block in New Hampshire. That's got to be extremely terrifying to the left. Remember, they put all the here. Let me show you this. This may give you even more, I won't say comfort, but give you even more information here. All right, so I want you to see this. When they put these maps together, and these are the electoral maps. Let me bring this up on here. All right, I want you to see this. If this is the electoral map that everyone is like, oh, this could happen and that could happen. All right, here we go. This is the electoral map, and this is what they say, this is where things could and where they should be. And so what ends up happening is they color in all the blue and they color in all the red because they're assuming that's how it's going to go. Those are baked in. We know we're going to get New Hampshire, that 4. We know we're going to get Washington and Oregon, that 20. We know we're going to get California. This is each team does the same thing. Trump's team's like, yeah, we know we're going to get Alabama. We know we're going to get Mississippi. So both sides of the coin, both teams are like, we got this in certain areas. We feel comfortable that this is locked in. That's why they call them battleground states, because those are the ones that are iffy. But you never expect that New Hampshire is going to flip. I mean, so if you say, wait a minute, so what happens if New Hampshire flips to red? Oh, now you're talking in 306. Her number drops down further. And what happens if, Oregon flips? And now you're talking 314. Those 2 states, if New Hampshire and Oregon flipped, Pennsylvania going blue, doesn't matter. These are states they never thought they had to defend. Oh, Virginia, we got New Hampshire in the bag. We've got Oregon in the bag. So now you start looking at, oh my goodness, are we going to see states that they never thought were possible flipping? Notice I took those states off the board. I took New Hampshire off and I took Oregon, and it still shows Trump winning because it shows Trump taking Michigan. The numbers in Michigan, as I showed you, where are they? Where's Michigan? Right here. Michigan. Urban turnout is down 321,000. So right now, Trump is feeling really good. And he's like, well, I could lose Pennsylvania. I don't want to, but I could conceivably lose Pennsylvania and still win because I might take Michigan. Okay, what happens if she wins Michigan? Now you're close and she wins. But now if I do take New Hampshire, it goes back the other way. Boom. So right now she needs to keep the entirety of everything she's working on. She can't lose anything. Let me refresh it. Let me just refresh this so it goes back to what they had it set at. They had this blue. And they had to, okay, so right there would show them winning the election at 270 to 268. But in order for her to do that, she has to definitely keep Washington and Oregon. She's got to keep Colorado and New Mexico. She's got to win all of the states in the Midwest. You got to win Wisconsin, you got to win Michigan, and you have to win Pennsylvania, and you have to win Virginia. So her path becomes pretty tough when you start looking electorally. Let's take in Marco Rubio, who just took the stage, and we'll come back to this.
Big dreams and fulfills them, that does big things. And the only thing standing in our way is a bad administration. After 4 years of progress that set us back, and I know people are just so tired of every day waking up to the news that our borders being overrun, that our streets are no longer safe because we're being flooded with criminals. I know people are tired of the cost of living has been unaffordable for working people. That was the American dream. If you work hard and you're willing to work hard, you can get ahead, you can leave your children better off than yourself. And there are millions of people today that are doubting it or are finding it impossible because of the insane policies of the current administration. And so what this election is about more than anything else is fixing those problems so that we can once again have the great country that we inherited from our parents and our grandparents. Now, I know you may not be aware of this, maybe no one's told you, but I want you to know something. Pennsylvania is a really important state tomorrow. The whole country is going to be watching you and what's done here and what happens here, because it's going to determine not simply the outcome of this election, not just the next 4 years in our country, but I honestly and deeply and truly believe it'll help determine what kind of country our children, our grandchildren, and future generations of Americans will inherit. If I may briefly, with your permission, I want to say a few words in Spanish. ¿A qué latino? And I primarily do that. They speak English, by the way, but I primarily do it because I don't like the way the translators translate my words on the news. I prefer my translation. I speak Spanish, but I mostly speak Cuban, which is different. Pero los boricuas me van a entender y los dominicanos también. ¿A qué dominicano y boricua? Mira, mis padres llegaron aquí en el año 56 a los Estados Unidos, no tenían absolutamente nada. Mi papá era un bartender, mi mamá limpiaba casas, limpiaba en hoteles, trabajó de cajera. Y mis padres con esos trabajos pudieron ser dueños de un hogar. Tuvimos una casa, criaron 4 hijos, le dieron la oportunidad a una vida mejor de la que tuvieron ellos. Porque ellos llegaron al país más grande en la historia del mundo. Y eso es lo que se está perdiendo ahora. Eso es lo que está en peligro. Esta elección se trata si esto va a seguir siendo o no va a seguir siendo un país como ese. Y un país también que ha sido infiltrado. Aquí, mira, ¿cómo yo voy a estar en contra de inmigración? La inmigración legal es algo positivo para el país. Pero lo que está pasando ahora es un descontrol y un caos total que está poniendo en peligro a nuestras comunidades y no puede seguir este descaro, esta falta de respeto a la seguridad de este país y de nuestras comunidades. Y le digo que el único candidato que va a arreglar eso se llama Donald J. Trump. El único candidato que va a decir que a la hora de adelante ustedes van a ser su prioridad. No mandar trabajos a otros países, no mandar a factorías a otros países, no preocuparse de las necesidades de personas de otros países, incluso criminales que vinieron. Estos son criminales no porque son inmigrantes, son criminales porque eran criminales en sus propios países y ahora quieren venir aquí a destrozar comunidades y amenazar al pueblo. No se puede permitir. Y eso va a seguir si Kamala Harris sale electa presidente. Pero Donald Trump va a salir presidente mañana y él lo va a parar. All right. Spanish sounds more passionate, right? Be honest, it sounds more, you know. But I basically told them the exact same thing. My parents came here from Cuba in 1956. My dad was a bartender, my mom was a maid. They never made a lot of money, but you know what? Working as a bartender and a maid, they owned a home, they retired with dignity, and they left all 4 of their children better off than themselves. That's called the American dream, and we're gonna bring it back. We're gonna dream big again as a country, as a nation, as a people, united from every background, from every part of this country. We will come together, and tomorrow we will make the 45th president, the 47th president, and together we will make America greater than it's ever been. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.
I don't speak Spanish, but damn, that sounded like he was fired up. I wish they put like subtitles so we could all have seen what he was saying, because damn, Marco, it sounds beautiful. I don't know what they're saying, so that's very interesting, but man, did he sound like he was absolutely bringing the heat, which is what we need. So I want to show you a quick video to let you know how bad they are actually freaking out. I may not have time because it looks like somebody else is coming up on stage right now. And who is this? I love her. Here comes, this is Sarah Huckabee Sanders coming to the stage. We'll take her as well. Sarah Huckabee Sanders walking up the stairs to the stage. All right.
Good afternoon. Who is ready to fire the Biden-Harris administration and bring Donald Trump back to the White House? It is an honor to be here with you today and help celebrate and make sure we get Donald Trump across the finish line and take him back to the White House tomorrow night. When the president hired me as the press secretary, I was the very first mom and only the 3rd woman to hold that job. And when the left relentlessly attacked me, kicked my family out of a restaurant, called me vile, unfit to be a parent, not even human, and a parent of a teacher, a parent of a child spit on our car. It was Donald Trump who empowered me, defended me, and built me up to take the next step back to the podium. The left loves to talk about empowering women, but they can't do that when they can't even tell you what a woman is. Donald Trump not only believes in empowering women, he believes in empowering every American, and that our country is worth fighting for, and he will never stop fighting. Over the course of the 2.5 years that I worked alongside and for the president, I traveled with him all over the world. No trip more impactful than December 25th of 2018, when I traveled with the president on Christmas night. We boarded Air Force One in total darkness with no lights on the plane, no lights on the runway. And 12 hours later, when we touched down in the war-torn part of Western Iraq, it was again a similar scene. No lights on the plane, no lights on the runway. The only light you could see was coming from a dining hall where hundreds of troops had packed in. Absolutely no idea that the President of the United States was about to walk into the room. And when he did, a sight and a scene and a sound that I know I will never forget unfolded. You had men and women from every part of the country, every race, every religion, every demographic you can imagine represented in that room. But in that moment, in absolutely perfect unity and in one voice, they chanted over and over and over again, USA, USA, USA. It was an absolutely perfect picture of what makes America so incredible. Men and women willing to put everything on the line so that you and I can live free in the greatest country that the world has ever known. And we had a president who understood that and was willing to fight for it as well. One of the young soldiers yelled from the back of the room, "Mr. President, I re-enlisted in the military because of you." And he said, "And son, I'm here because of you." An incredible moment. This is a president who loves our country, who will never stop fighting for our country. But he needs you to fight alongside him. We're not all called to serve on the battlefields of Iraq. We're not all called to run for office, but every single one of us has a part to play in making sure our children get to enjoy the freedom of America. And that starts right here in Pennsylvania, getting Donald Trump reelected and sent back to the White House. Donald Trump is the fighter that our country needs at a time when we need it the very most. No pressure, Pennsylvania, but the entire country is counting on you to show up and show up big. Let's make sure we send Donald Trump back and we make America the best it's ever been. Thank you so much. Let's do this.
So I have to wonder, what will trolls do on Wednesday? when the money runs out and no one's paying them to go infiltrate the other side, what's going to happen? Because the trolls are obviously, if you're spending your time, if your objective is to go onto other people's streams and basically harass the people that are on that stream, you're obviously getting paid. Because I can't can't even fathom that you'd have that much of a loser life that you would spend your time, whatever amount of time it is, on your own, going out there and trying to troll people in streams to no avail. It ain't working. Eric Trump.
Pennsylvania!
Oh, easy with that. Your microphone's hot.
Well, Donald Trump is in the house, so let's make some noise for the greatest president the United States have ever had.
All right, that's not me. His mic is hot.
Guys, they have done everything to try and take him away from this country. They have tried to do everything to take him away from
Just to let you know, his microphone is extremely hot. That's not me.
all of us. I have truly never been more proud of an individual in my life. I really mean that sincerely. The guy has more vigor, the guy has more energy, the guy has more backbone than any person I have ever seen before. I mean, the guy just doesn't stop. He doesn't stop. Well, we love you too. We love you too. Thank you, my man. Guys, they tried everything. They tried the Russia hoax. They tried dirty dossiers. They impeached him the first time. They impeached him the second time. They went after his Supreme Court candidates. They tried to take away his First Amendment right. They took him off of Twitter. They took him off of Facebook. They took him off of Instagram. They raided his home. They raided Melania's closet. They raided Barron's room. They subpoenaed me 111 times. When that didn't work, you know what they did? They tried to take him off the ballot in Colorado. Then they tried to take him off the ballot in Maine. When that didn't work, they weaponized every single AG and DA around the country to go after him, to criminally prosecute him. And you know what? When that didn't work, some madman tried to take his life. And the whole time, guys, he stood up and he said 3 simple words: fight, fight, fight. You know what, guys? The fight isn't over. The fight is just beginning. Tomorrow, we take back the United States of America. We restore all the things we love: the greatest economy, the greatest constitution, love of the American flag, love of the Second Amendment, love of family, love of God. Guys, we take it all back. You know, Sarah just said it. We win Pennsylvania, we win the entire country. If we win Pennsylvania, we win the United States of America. And so, guys, thank you for the greatest 10 years of my life. Thank you for the support of my father. I can't tell you how much it means to him. I can't tell you how much it means to our family. We love you. We love you. We love you. God bless all of you. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. Let's make America great again. Thank you, Pennsylvania. Thank you, guys.
All right, so that was Eric Trump. I'm wondering if the next person up might be Alina Habba, or will it be Trump himself? I'm looking to see if there's any information regarding Virginia, because they're thinking that he may end up taking Virginia. That's some of the talk that's going on right now. But there are so many paths to 270 for Trump, not that many for Kamala. Here comes the guy who's in charge of the microphones, who always gets up there and check toast. He's funny. He's a funny dude. I want to show you this because it's pretty amazing what the left at this point has nothing left. So all they're going to do now is just. I wish I could. I'm going to try and pause it on the opening frame so you can see Mika's face here.
I will ask the question that I think is a fair.
Let me go back and rewind it. That's the opening frame. That's pure pain. That's pure pain and sorrow. That's worrying about, oh my God, how are we going to do anything against this man? Let's listen to what they say here before somebody else pops up. I hope it's not Stephen Miller, because I love Stephen Miller, but this is only like a minute and a half long, so I'm just looking to see if they're bringing anybody else out yet before I start playing this. All right, here we go.
I will ask the question that I think is a fair question to ask. Who raised these people?
Yeah.
Because they were not raised by anybody in my neighborhoods that I...
Imagine asking who raised Trump voters. So it's not bad enough that we're deplorables and garbage. Now our parents must be deplorables and garbage. Oh my God, who raised these people?
grew up. Any middle-class neighborhoods that I grew up in, these people were not there.
These people...
They were not raised. I mean, they weren't in the classes I went to growing up.
What does that say then? Joe, tell me what that says. These people weren't in the classes that you grew up in. These people weren't in your neighborhood. Maybe that's because you grew up in an elitist neighborhood. You didn't have to worry about these people. And he's saying this on a nationally televised network. These people, who raised these heathens?
In elementary or middle or high school or college, they just weren't there. That wasn't the America I grew up in, where people would laugh at the idea of people of the press getting shot. Like everybody would like sit around and like, what's he talking about? Or again,
laughing at the Puerto Rican
other
joke.
things, laughing at the Puerto Rican joke.
My God,
that Puerto Ricans are a pile.
Come on, Joe. You're telling me people didn't laugh at jokes? I'm calling you a liar right now. If you were in front of me, I would call you a liar to your face. You know why I'm going to call you a liar to your face? Because it doesn't really matter what neighborhood you're in. I'm pretty sure based upon your age, you knew who Sammy Davis Jr. was. You know who Don Rickles were. You knew who Richard Pryor was. You knew. What do you mean? Well, these people, they would never have laughed at a joke like that. You're lying. You're absolutely lying. We know you're lying.
Of trash are laughing at a 82, 83-year-old man being bludgeoned nearly to death.
Who is laughing at that? I didn't hear about that.
That's an applause line. That's a laugh line. Again, who are these people? Where are they coming from? And who raised them? And
they can't even help themselves at this point. They are just completely. We disgust them as if. You see Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, his mother's right there. Are you saying that she raised him wrong? Incredible.
How did Donald Trump twist their point of view so much in 9 years that the brutalization of an 83-year-old man is something to laugh about, or the shooting of press members is an applause line?
Yeah, laughs and cheers when Trump suggested the press should be shot. And my friend, the legendary photographer at the AP, Evan Vucci, who's traveling with the Trump campaign here, says that as each rally goes on, particularly last night in Georgia, the threats from the crowd to the press, they're there in the arena, only growing. They're really...
Oh, your fifi's hurt, huh? Is that what's wrong? Oh my God, these people, they don't even hear themselves anymore. I can't take it. They need to be voted into oblivion. These media people need to lose their jobs. It's beyond the pale at this point. It's pure and utter desperation. Donald Trump is here, y'all. Donald Trump is taking the stage. And he's coming out to the music that you guys know, which is Lee Greenwood's God Bless the USA. They probably hate that music too. They probably hate Jason Aldean's music. They probably hate the music. In every American heart. They probably hate the music that people listen to. They can't stand patriotism. You know, those people. Those people. Unbelievable. All right, everybody. Donald Trump taking the stage. As soon as he begins talking, I shall check the volume. You guys let me know if it works okay. But I had to show you that Morning Joe clip because now they're basically insulting our parents. How bad is it that you have to reach to that level to insult people's parents. Your parents, my parents. Who raised these people? These people who laugh at jokes. We never laughed at a joke about Puerto Rico. I guess you never put on a Richard Pryor album. Never. I bet you never listened to Eddie Murphy, Bill Cosby, Lenny Bruce, Don Rickles, Dean Martin. You never listened to anything. How sad. How sad a life must you lead to be able to say that on a national television show when everybody who's watching you knows you're lying. You're absolutely lying. This man's about to be the next president of the United States, and he's having to take fake planes and decoys and everything else. Let's do this. Let's make this work.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. This is a great honor. We're on the 2-yard line, not the 5-yard line. 2 days ago, we were at the 5, now we're at the 2. But we have to turn out and vote tomorrow.
How's the volume, everybody? How is the volume? Put some comments. Let me know.
And we're going to do something, a term you've never heard of, Make America Great Again. That's what we're going to do. So hello to Pennsylvania, a very special place. I went to school here, as you know. I spent a lot of time here, have a lot of friends here, and I'm thrilled to be back in this beautiful Commonwealth with thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots. Great people. Great people. You built this country, I have to tell you, you built this country. You're going to save this country, too. You're going to save it. Because, you know, if we win Pennsylvania, not me, if we win Pennsylvania, we win the whole ball of wax. It's over. It's over. So I'd like to begin by asking you a very, very easy, simple question. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? With your vote tomorrow, I will end inflation. I will stop the invasion of criminals coming into our country. And I will bring back the American dream. You're going to have the American dream back. What a shame what they've done to our country. They have destroyed our country, but we're going to get it back and fast. We're a nation in decline, but that will not be long, believe me. And after 4 years of economic suffering, we will create the greatest economic boom the world has ever seen. They're all coming back. All those companies that left us with the jobs, they're all coming back. Think of this, though. We're just 1 day away. Oh, we've been waiting for this. I've been waiting 4 years for this. And so have you. And so have you. We've all been waiting 4 years. 1 day, you gotta show up. I don't want any money. I don't want anything. Just show up and bring your vote. And if you have somebody else that got a little lazy, bring that person too. Say, Jim, you gotta get off the damn couch. Come on. We gotta make America great again, Jim. We're just 1 day away from what will be the most important political event in the history of our country. But you have to get out. We have to vote. Just show up and vote. I'd love to, really, what we should do is swamp them. Just swamp them tomorrow. You know, we have a massive lead. I don't even like telling you that, to be honest with you. We have a massive lead. First time ever, a Republican was leading by a lot in early, but it didn't happen. The Republicans would always be way behind. They believe in going on election day, so we're going to let you go on election day, right? But they waited till the end, always. Democrats would always have hundreds of thousands of votes, and then you either catch them or you don't. You never know what's going to happen. But Republicans have never been in the lead, and not like this. It's a big number. So we have to just get at, you know, the ball is in our hand. We're at the 2-yard line, maybe the 1-yard line, but it's in our hand, and we put it over that. It'll be the biggest event maybe in the history of our country. And let me tell you, it will be also something much more important than that. It's going to save our country, because our country is in trouble. But that's all you need to know. And another thing you want to know is Kamala broke it, and I will fix it, and fast. America will be bigger, better, bolder, richer, safer, and stronger than ever before. This election is a choice between whether we will have 4 more years of gross incompetence and failure. That's what it was, 4 years of gross. Nothing good happened. What good happened? They cheated on their numbers. You saw last week they cheated on all their economic. We're in like a depression territory. I'll give you a little advance notice, 12,000 jobs. When did you hear that? That's like for Walmart. That's not for us. That's not for a country. It's 250, 300, 400, 100. 12,000. We lost hundreds of thousands of manufacturing jobs over the last month. Think of that. It's going to be that, or whether we will begin the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. We're going to make these unbelievable years, and we're starting from a negative. You know, we're starting from like about 15 yards off the field. We're not starting at the 20. We're starting from 15 yards off the field. And speaking of football, maybe we can get the NFL to drop that ridiculous kickoff sit. What the hell are they doing? What is that? I watched the game the other day. I said, what the hell happened? They just kicked off and nobody moved. Oh, well, that's up to them. This will be the golden age of America. Tomorrow, it's a beautiful term, isn't it? I was saying before, I was just proofing and reading and studying and all that stuff. And what a beautiful term, the golden age. We're going to be in the golden age. Won't take long. Right? So tomorrow you have to stand up and tell Kamala that you've had enough. You're not going to take it anymore. You're the most incompetent vice president we've ever had. And Joe Biden was the worst president in the history of our country. Kamala, you're fired. Get the hell out of here. You're fired. This is a hell of a nice place. Thank you. With your vote, we're going to win Pennsylvania, and we're going to defeat Kamala and those radical left, what they're doing to our country. Crazy Nancy Pelosi. What's about her? She has Visa stock, a big position. You know, she started off with nothing. Now she's worth $200 million. How did that happen? So she has Visa stock, and she sells her stock. The day before, it was announced that Visa's under major federal investigation. I don't know. I wonder, do you think she had any insider information? I don't know. It's disgrace. Honestly, she's a disgrace. They ought to throw her the hell out of Congress. We are going to make America great again, and it's going to be fast. We're going to do it fast. We'll fast track it. Over the past 4 years, Kamala has orchestrated the most egregious betrayal that any leader in American history has ever inflicted upon our people. She's violated her oath of office. She's eradicated our sovereign border and unleashed an army of gangs and criminal migrants from prisons and jails, insane asylums and mental institutions, from all around the world, from Venezuela and the Congo in Africa, stealing countless American lives. And these are rough customers that are coming, much rougher than almost anybody in this room, other than the other night I had the Penn State national champion wrestling team. Think of this. They have a great coach. They've won exactly 11 out of the last 13 national championships. And I looked at these guys. I came up, I brought them up. And we were at Penn State when we did a little bit of a rally. It was a little rally that we could have sold the place out about 15 times. But we brought them up. I heard they were here, and I brought them up. And they had more muscle than I ever saw in any human being. And I looked at him and I said, you know, fellas, you may be the only ones in this room in this country that could take the migrants in a fight. You may be the only ones. Then I said, but they fight dirty. They use knives and guns, and they do, and they are vicious and they're tough. And we're going to get them the hell out. We have to. Our country's being destroyed. Our country is being destroyed. Here today, there's an incredible woman who I got to know, actually, over this tragedy, Patty Morin, whose heartbreaking story is a tragic warning of what will come to every city in America. It's coming to every city. It's already there. I mean, they won't even talk about it, but it's coming. It's only going to get worse. And by the way, 21 million people she allowed in, open borders. We have no idea who they are, and many of them are bad. If she ever won, I hate to even mention the concept, she's incompetent. If she ever won, she would have open borders the following day after the election, and you wouldn't have 21 million people, which is a record in history. You would have 221 million people coming over the next 4 years. And you could forget about your country. You would have no chance. Patty's wonderful daughter, Rachel Morin, was a 37-year-old mom of 5 precious, beautiful children. Rachel lived in Maryland, 1,500 miles from the border. Last year, while Rachel was out on a run, she wanted to always stay in good shape. Right near her home, she was brutally raped and murdered by an illegal alien who was led into the United States by the ridiculous open borders policy of Kamala. The savage who committed this heinous crime first killed another woman in El Salvador before walking across Kamala's open border. Come in and please come in. We'd love to have you into the United States. Isn't that wonderful? He then attacked a 9-year-old girl and her mother in a home invasion in Los Angeles, beating the hell out of both of them before murdering Rachel. Patty is really special. I got to know her. We had lunch together. She's a very great woman. She's just like, you know, look, there's nothing you can tell somebody when that happens. You can't say, oh, well, time. I don't know. Sometimes time's good. Sometimes it makes it worse. I've had them say it's worse now than it was 10 years ago. But Patty's a fantastic person. I'd love to call her up. She'll say a few words about her beautiful daughter. Please. Patty? Thank you. Thank you. All right, sweetie, be careful.
Get your hankies ready.
Thank you. Rachel, if you knew Rachel, everybody in our town knew Rachel. They loved her. She was a tiny little Spitfire. She was like 5 feet, 5'2". She loved her children. She was very dedicated to them. She was a small businesswoman. She worked very hard to support her children. She was physically active. She took very good care of herself. And after she passed away, we did a walk in our town. And we had over 2,000 people come out to the walk. And of the people that came out to the walk, they said to me, I didn't know her personally, but we bought coffee at the same place. And she always said hi, and she always had a smile. I had on the walk people that had immigrated into this country. And one of them that really touched my heart was a tiny little Cuban lady. She had left her country and had come here for safety reasons. She had just had 2 knee replacements, and her daughter knew my daughter, but her daughter had to work that day. So this lady with the 2 little knee replacements walked the trail for her daughter. because her daughter was so impressed and so moved by Rachel. And this woman, at the end of the walk, wanted to take a picture with me and offered me $1, because that's what she had in her pocket, to help towards expenses for my daughter. I told her to take the money and take her daughter out to lunch and give her a hug. But family is the most important thing that we have. There's a proverb, and the proverb says, when a righteous man reigns, the people rejoice. But when wickedness reigns, the people mourn. And it's been 4 years of our country mourning because of the hardships that have been inflicted on us that are unnecessary, totally unnecessary. So thank you for allowing me this time.
Thank you very much.
And this is our next president of the United States. He's an awesome man.
Did you get your eyes fixed?
Not yet, we're working on it.
You got that on, huh?
Yeah, we are. Thank you, sir. Thank you for this honor.
It's an honor to be there. She's looking down, right? She's looking down. Look at the crowd, how they love you.
Yes. Yes.
The girl's looking down.
You're gonna make me cry.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna make me cry. Thank you.
Come on, let me walk you out. Thank you very much. Thank you, Patty. Great woman, really an incredible. How do you do that? I don't know. She did something that's very hard to do. I couldn't do it, I don't think. Very hard to do what she just did, so beautifully, too. And last night we had a woman from Puerto Rico, Carmen, lost her daughter, Mimi, same kind of thing. A migrant came in from a country, just brutal. They're just killers. I mean, they don't care. Her daughter was also beautiful. And Rachel was beautiful. But a similar thing killed, and the woman got up, killed 5 days ago. And the woman got up and she just spoke. And both of them, the job is to do that. I don't know how you do it, but they are incredible. They're incredible people. We have incredible people in this country, I tell you. And we can't let savages come in from other countries and take them out. We can't let these animals come in for other countries. They come in and they take them out, and then they're protected by the radical left. It's a terrible thing that's happening, and it's levels. When I was in this debate with the three people, 2.5, I figured, the 2 anchors and a half a candidate. And David Muir, when I said about, no, crime's way up. No, it's not, it's down. I said, am I debating you? And the next day, somebody at Justice Department actually likes me. They released the numbers. It was up 45%. Crime was up, way up right now. And you have a new crime that you can add. It's called migrant crime. And it's as vicious as there's ever been. It's a level of viciousness. And I put up tapes, but you know, the problem is the fake news never puts the tapes on. A friend of mine calls me. And he says, I watch all your rallies. They're the greatest rallies. But you know, when you put those tapes up, the cameras, look at all those cameras over there. They don't have one camera that goes, and all it has to do is go an inch here, an inch here, and you have it. They don't put them on television because they don't want to see the horror show of those tapes. So I don't even bother with them anymore because it's ridiculous. Isn't it ridiculous? And you know, it would be actually better for the networks, better. I mean, you're showing things of great interest, and they're horrible to watch. They're horrible to watch. But I don't put them up anymore pretty much because they won't put them on. They won't move the camera an inch and an inch. Isn't that terrible? You know why? Because it's fake news. The day I take the oath of office the migrant invasion ends and the restoration of our country begins. The United States is now an occupied country, but it will soon be an occupied country no longer. It's not going to be occupied long. If you had the tapes, you'd see where they take over apartment complexes in Aurora, Colorado. I hope Colorado votes. You know, Colorado, the governor, is a weak, ineffective guy. He's a radical left lunatic, and he's petrified of the people. It's a gang from Venezuela, very nasty, along with MS-13. They're probably the two worst gangs. They're vicious. He doesn't know what to do. All talk, you know, they're all talk. And yet when I was the leading candidate and we're going through the country like easily, routinely, he decided that he's going to try and take me off the ballot. That doesn't sound very democratic, does it? You know, they always say, he's a threat, me. I'm a threat to democracy. I'm the one that's saving democracy, just so you know it. And this weak, ineffective governor got his attorney general to push it, and they tried to take me off the ballot. It went through a whole court system, and the Supreme Court of the United States, and it was very important that they did this. They voted 9-0, including the 3 justices that sometimes would maybe not vote for something like this. I have respect for them. They voted 9-0. You can't do that. You just can't do that. You have to take them out with the ballots. So that was great. That's it. And the people of Colorado at the time, see, time flies and now people forget about it, but at the time they did polls and they were doing, Trump was going to win Colorado, not traditionally a swing state, but they were furious. And the Democrats were actually more angry than the Republicans. It's pretty amazing. November 5th, 2024 will be Liberation Day in America. And on day one, I will launch the largest deportation program of criminals in American history. We're going to get them out. We have to. Dwight Eisenhower has the record. He was a very moderate kind of a guy. He was a good general. He was a good president, too, better than a lot of people think. He built the interstate system, did a good job, but he hated the concept of people pouring into our country. And he has the record, but we're going to unfortunately beat the record. It's not something I want to do. But this is not sustainable by any country. They're taking over your towns, your schools, your hospitals. Springfield, Ohio, 52,000 people in the town. They dropped 30,000 migrants into the town. And now they can't use their hospitals. They can't use their school systems. I will rescue every city and town that has been invaded and conquered. Can you imagine? I'm up here making a speech, talking about towns and cities and big cities. Look, I see New York. I see what happened. And the mayor made some nasty statements about it. You know, the mayor, Mayor Adams, he made statements about this is not sustainable. We can't, I mean, you have to help us with this. Hundreds of thousands of people are piling into New York. You have to help us. And I said to my people, he'll be indicted shortly. They indicted him. One of the indictments is he was upgraded in an airliner. Everyone gets upgraded. Anybody who's gotten upgraded, please raise your hand. You will be indicted. No, think of this. I've been upgraded. I used to fly that way. They used to upgrade me all the time. That would mean I have a potential additional investigation because I've been investigated more than Alphonse Capone. Think about it. He killed people at will. If he went out to dinner with this handsome gentleman right here and he didn't like him, he said, "You're looking at me the wrong way. I don't like you." He had no chance of making it out of the dining room. And I got investigated. Think of it. I got investigated more, and I did nothing wrong. And I have to say the Republican Party really stuck up for me. They said, this is ridiculous. Unanimously. And they'll put the vicious and bloodthirsty criminals, we're going to get them, we're going to throw them out of the country first choice. If they're really crazy vicious, and we have many of them, don't forget, of the 1,399 that are murderers, many of them committed 2 murders. Of these people, I don't know, I'd almost rather keep them in jail because, you know, if they come back, now we're going to have something about them coming back. It's serious, and we'll tell you about it. But we're going to either put them in jail or we're going to get them. And for the most part, we want to just get them the hell out of our country, right? No, they're emptying their jails and mental institutions to expedite removals of the removal of Trende Aragua and other violent gangs like MS-13, all savage gangs, tough gangs. They're tough, they're nasty. That's why I want to be with those Penn State guys. I feel very good. I will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. You know, 1798, that's when they ran the country a little tougher than we run it today. Today, you get a little slap in the wrist when you kill somebody. You kill somebody. Oh. Now, if you fight for a fair and free election, then they throw the book at you, right? Then they throw the book because they don't like it because you're getting too close. And you know, those numbers that are coming in today, nobody's ever seen numbers like this. It's a great tribute. It's a great tribute. So we're going to invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to target and dismantle every migrant criminal network operating on American soil. And if they come back into our country, it's an automatic 10 years in jail with no possibility of parole. And I'm hereby calling for the death penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen or a law enforcement officer. You kill our citizens or you kill our law enforcement officers, you know, we have to protect them. They're in a dangerous situation. And we have very few. It's very hard to get them now. It's because we don't protect them. We don't stick up for them. We don't fight. I mean, we end up taking away their pensions. We end up taking away their house. They end up losing their families. We're going to fight for our law enforcement officers. Being a policeman used to be one of the most sought-after jobs in the country. Today, it's not. I visited a wonderful young family in Long Island. The door opens to a car and bullets start firing out. He's not allowed to do anything. He can't, you know, it's just horrible. It's very dangerous. And we're going to have it so they're going to want to be cops again. We want to be policemen. My father always said, don't ever use the word cops. That's not respectful. It's a little different than it is nowadays. Can you imagine? Because my father had respect. Our family had always great respect for policemen. I'll never forget, I said to my father, Dad, the cops around here do a good job. Don't ever use the word cops, they're policemen. At that time, it was mostly policemen. Now it's policemen and policewomen, it's good. But that's a different, there's a whole different thing. We're going to bring it back to exactly like my father felt about him. He had total respect for them, and they did a great job. And you couldn't even get on the force. The standards were so high. Everybody wanted to be a policeman or then, as it kicked in, a policewoman. And they're doing a great job. And I will immediately ban all sanctuary cities in the United States of America. We will secure our borders. And we will also rescue our economy. Because our economy is in a mess. And I've seen it for a long time. I'm very good at that stuff. I'm very good at that stuff. I've been talking about it for a long time. Scott Bessent, one of the smartest people on Wall Street, has been talking about it. In fact, he said the only reason the stock market's up is because everyone thinks Trump is going to become president this very year. Maybe the top guy on Wall Street. 4 years of Kamala have delivered nothing but economic hell for American workers. You know that. Her inflation disaster has made life unaffordable and cost families over $30,000 in higher prices. It's the cost. People tell me all the time, I actually talk to a lot of people. It's hard to believe. If I'm in a group, I say, come here, what do you like the best? Well, my groceries. They're always talking about groceries and the cost of cars, the cost of everything. The cost of anything. It's all inflation that they created. They created it so stupidly with screwing around with my energy policies. I had oil. At $1, I thought it was 87. I was corrected by the government. It was $1.84 a gallon. Think of this. And today you're at $4 and $5 and actually going up. It's going to go up a lot. By the way, The day after the election, if something bad happens, you'll see oil at 10, 12, 15, because these crazy people are trying to force electric cars down your throat. And we like electric cars, but they're not for everybody. And by the way, Elon Musk is incredible, what he's done. What he's done. Do you know where he is right now? He's in Pennsylvania, fighting for the election. He's campaigning, Elon. That 22-story rocket ship last week, did you see that? It's coming down. I say, oh, no, it's going to crash. Look at the gantry. It's coming too sharp. Stop it, stop it. I didn't know it was him. I figured it was him because he's so far advanced. You know? Who else could do this kind of stuff? Anyway, this thing's coming down. It's wrong angle. And then all of a sudden, you know, it really looked like it had the whole deal was going to collapse, the gantry. That's the thing that holds it up. So it's coming down. Then all of a sudden, wow, you know, massive flames of fire and jets and everything comes pouring in from the left and pushes it over. And then it drops gently down. And then those two big arms come out like you're hugging your baby. Just grab that thing and put it gently down. Put it gently down in the pad. And it was a beautiful thing to see. See, now in the old days, I would have said, hugging something else, and I would have thought that was so smart to say. And then the fake news would be writing stories about it for 2 weeks. So we don't give them those opportunities quite as much, but it was more fun, but we don't give them those opportunities. Just days ago, we had but you know, Elon, really, we have to be thankful. He gave for the horrible hurricane that did such a big number on numerous states, but North Carolina got hit badly. I mean, they were really hit. And I was there. I was very early there, actually. And then came back, and I met with a very good person, one of the head people in North Carolina. He said, sir, you know Elon Musk, don't you? Yeah. He gave me the nicest endorsement. He said, if you don't win, if Trump doesn't win, this whole country is going to be no good. It's going to be no good. And it won't, because their policies, these radical left policies, will be Venezuela on steroids. That's what's going to happen to us. And I said that years ago, if that ever happened. And we can't let we got to get these people the hell out of office because they're bad. First of all, they're incompetent, but they're bad. But he said, sir, could you do us a favor? What? He makes something called Starlink. I said, what's Starlink? Tell me what Starlink. It's a communication system, because all our wires are buried underwater. You had to see this. Areas that never saw water are now lakes. I mean, nobody's ever seen a hurricane. This was a real sort of a water-destructive hurricane. There's never been anything like it in terms of the amount of water put on it. Literally areas that were almost like they never saw much rainfall or anything. They're now these giant lakes. And the destruction and the death. A lot of people died, and, you know, people don't know that, but a lot of people died. There are people still missing. He said, we have no communication. We're cut off from the mainland, and we need Starlink, and we can't get anyone on the phone because, you know, it's a very popular thing. So he explained what it is, and I called Elon. I said, Elon, you have to do me a favor. North Carolina and parts of Georgia are really in bad shape, and they have no communication. You have to get your Starlink, whatever the hell it is, Elon. I don't know. I don't care, but you got to get some. And if you don't mind, and so I'm talking to him, and you might have heard this. I told it a couple times. I'm talking to him, and I get a note that the man from North Carolina was, thank you very much, sir. The Starlink is all being taken care of. It just happened. I said, wait a minute. So I said, Elon, did you approve that? Yeah. How the hell did you approve it? You're talking to me on the phone. He said, well, I'm able to do two things at one time. And they got so much Starlink, and I said, how is it? He said, a week later, I said to the guy, how is it? He said, it's unbelievable. You saved a lot of lives. So Elon is a great guy, so we want to thank him. Just days ago, we had the worst jobs report in modern history. This is the one. I always said, I don't want to be Herbert Hoover. I don't want to be Herbert Hoover. And I've been talking to you about this is going to happen. And I think we can now say it's in the process of happening. So normally you see all these jobs, everything, hundreds of thousands of jobs, just because of the size. And they just announced, Mike, you'd be amazed at this. Mike, look at our Mike. Look at him. He lost all that weight. He looks so handsome. Stand up. Mike Pompeo. Stand up, Mike. You look so handsome. Wow. Man, I'm going to ask him, how the hell did he do that? That's good. Good. That's great. But I just said, 12,000, and this is an unbelievably, like an unthinkable number. I've never heard of a number that low. I've never heard of it. It's been decades. And I heard that, and then I heard 30,000 private sector jobs were killed in a single month, and nearly 100,000 manufacturing jobs have been wiped out just since the beginning of the year. 100, and those manufacturing jobs are gold for us. Those are the people that make the product. 150,000 Americans joined the unemployment rolls in October, and nearly 250,000 people dropped out of the labor force. Did you ever hear numbers like that? That's like a depression. And I've been saying the D word. I don't like to say it, but I've been saying the D word, the depression. Then they did something even worse than that. A few months ago, they fraudulently claimed that they had 818,000 jobs created, that they created 818,000. That was good. But that just brought us up to normalcy, so it wasn't a big story. Because now all of a sudden, instead of being down 818, they were like normal. And when in fact, none were created. It was a fraud. And the papers refused to write about it as a fraud because they're fake. And it was a total lie. They thought they'd be able to get away with it through the election. They didn't want to have this information come out before the election. See, and I look up to the sky. Thank you very much. Because this would, in normal times, right? This would, in normal times, be a disqualifier. Do you know she's using my term now? Do you believe it? She uses everything I do. She uses even Saturday Night Live. They copied. They copied. Think of that. Oh, she was great. They copied my routine. I did it a long time ago. They copied the same routine. I think I did it better, actually. I think anybody could have done it. I think anybody could have done it better, Dan, right? But fortunately, there was a whistleblower on the 818, and I thought it was an amazing thing, so it got released. And now, to add to it further, they've just revised other past reports, jobs reports, down by 112,000 other fake jobs were reported. For almost 1 million fraudulent jobs were created. And it all got released right now in front of the election. One day, it was 3 days that we heard about it, but we're talking about it now. And normally this would be a disqualifier. This would be, you wouldn't be able to even run for office. Meanwhile, 100% of the net jobs created in the last year have gone to migrants. They haven't gone to American citizens. Did you know that? These are depression-type numbers, and that's where we're heading if she's elected. You have a depression, I don't mean like a recession. I mean a depression with a capital D. Under my leadership, we are quickly going to turn this economic nightmare into an economic miracle. We're going to do great things. You are. We're going to make America wealthy again, and we're going to make America affordable again. We have to get the prices down. I told the story this morning. A woman goes up to a counter in a supermarket with 3 apples. It was reported somewhere, and it's just like, this can't happen in this country, and brings them up, 3 apples. An elderly woman brings them up to the counter, and she realized that they're too expensive, and they've gone up so much from the last couple of months. And she takes one of the apples back to the refrigeration section and walks back, and she buys 2 apples instead of 3. This shouldn't be happening in the United States of America. So we're just one day away from the best jobs and biggest paychecks and the brightest economic future that the world has ever seen. But you must vote. Kamala's plan will impose the largest tax hike in American history and raise taxes on the typical American family by at least $3,000 a year. And this is the only politician I've ever seen. You know, she's a very low IQ person. You know, I want to have a smart president. I don't want any more. We had 4 years of these guys. President Xi, Mike, of China is not a low IQ person. Do you agree? He's a very severe person. He's a very fierce person, but low IQ is not one of his traits. Do we agree? No, but these guys, these leaders at the top of their game, and we don't have that. We have people that 30 years ago, Biden wasn't any good. He had the worst policy. If you would have taken Biden's policy reviews over a 40-year period and reversed them, you would have gone down as the single greatest policy expert, foreign policy expert. My plan will massively cut taxes for workers and small businesses, and we will have no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits for our seniors. Kamala will crush Pennsylvania energy workers, and she's going to ban fracking. By the way, don't let this happen. Her whole life, she's against anything coming out of the ground. She likes the wind, the wind. It kills all your birds. That doesn't work. That's the most expensive energy in the entire world. And then after 10 years, when it rusts out, they don't look too good. So she wants to ban fracking, and she's going to ban, that's 500,000 Pennsylvania jobs. There's no way that you can vote for that. That's your biggest industry. You got a lot of stuff under there. It's going to come out, and it's clean and nice and good. And you're doing great things for the country because the country uses it. I will end Kamala's war on energy, and we will frack, 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 and drill, baby, drill. And I will cut your energy prices, all of your energy, gasoline, for the house, air conditioning, heating, everything. In 1 year from January 20th, which would be the day we take over. Oh, it's so close, but still dangerous. These people, how would you like to be Putin and you want to call the United States and you have no idea who to call? No, it's true. Let's call up the United States. I'd like to work something out. Who do we call? Sir, really, there's nobody you can speak to. I just thought of that the last couple of days. They want to make a deal, Mike, and they have nobody to speak to. Maybe they'll speak to the guy right alongside of you. You got a great Senate. By the way, you have a great Senate candidate. I hope you're gonna go for it, David. He's great. I hope you're gonna go. He's working hard. It's hard beating those guys that are in there for 25 years and do nothing. See, when you do nothing, you're a survivor. You can never get yourself into problems. He does nothing for you. He doesn't fight for your fracking. He wouldn't care. He wouldn't even say to her, no, we can't do that. That's going to have a terrible impact on Pennsylvania and the country. He would never say that. He's a survivor. His father was in for 25 years. He's in for whatever the hell he's in for, 25-something. And they're tough to beat, I have to tell you, because he's just a survivor. That's the only thing he's good at. You need more than a survivor. You need this guy. This man is good, David McCormick. And he's working hard. Get him up here. Come on, David. Come on. We got to get him. David McCormick. And I'll tell you, I've known him for a long time. He was a winner in school. He was a great soldier. Everything was good. Everything was good. You have a chance to get somebody outstanding. And what you have now is not outstanding.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, Keystone State. It's going to happen right here. It all comes down to here. We have a choice. We have a choice between strength, that guy who said fight, 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 and weakness. We have a choice between common sense policies and a radical liberal agenda. You have a choice between a senator who's going to fight with this guy for change or the status quo. We've got to win this election. It's the most important ones of your lifetime. President Trump's putting it all out there. I'm putting it all out there. We need you to do everything you can do to take our country back. We need you to get out and vote. We need you to tell 10 friends. We need you to put up signs. We need you to pray. And if you do that, on November 6th, we'll say on this day, November 5th, we saved our country. We got it back on track. We put the right leadership in place. And we made Pennsylvania great again. Thank you.
Wow. We have some other senators here, and I have to tell you, I think they're looking forward to having him as a partner in the Senate. We have some good ones, too. Senator Bill Hagerty, Tennessee. Tom Cotton, a great guy, Tom Cotton. Tom is a great guy, Arkansas. And Marco is Marco. He's fantastic. Thank you, fellas. Thank you, fellas. That's a great group of people. I heard Marco, that little speech he gave, that was pretty, I didn't understand a damn word he was saying. But he's great. You have a lot of members of Congress, but just a few of them that I have to, because they're outstanding. They're outstanding people. John Joyce, Lloyd Smucker, Dan Muser, G.T. Thompson. These guys are all warriors. Stand up, fella. They're warriors. They are warriors. And Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders, she's doing a fantastic job. She's fantastic. Pennsylvania Treasurer Stacey Garrity. Where's Stacey? Thank you, Stacey. Oh, thank you, Stacey. Good job. Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, great guy. Great guy. RNC Chairman Michael Whatley, he's doing good. He's doing good. I told him, do me a favor. You've heard this speech before. Stay back. Just work on the votes. We've heard this speech before. You have a man from Europe. I don't know if he's here. I saw him backstage. What he did was, and what he is doing is sort of what we did a few years ago. He's doing a great job. He's always been my friend for some reason. He liked me. I liked him. And he's shaking it up pretty good over there. He was the big winner of the last election in the UK, and he's a very spectacular man, very highly respected, Nigel Farage. He's a little bit of a rebel, but that's good. You know, that's good. Don't change, Nigel. And you have my children, and they are spectacular. Don, Eric, Tiffany, and Laura, and Michael Boulos. And Tiffany's going to have a baby very soon. Going to have a baby. Tiffany's having a baby. Thank you very much. That's really great. They're very good. They're very good kids, and a lot of friends are here. Steve Witkoff is here. He's given a lot of money to different charities and all. He's really, really something. Oh, they're there. I'm wondering why are all those cameras? That's the innocent right there. And you know, Laura is a superstar. Laura is like unbelievable. Laura has been unbelievable. Laura, you know, she was born and really loves the place, North Carolina, and she can't hold it against her, right? She was born, she loves North Carolina, and so do I, so do we all. We've never had a loss at North Carolina. And she could have been senator very easily, and I said, do you think it's something you'd want to do? Nobody could have beaten her. She was through the roof, and she said, no, I love my husband, I love my children, I really want to give them some time. We end up making her like chairman of the Republican Party. That's supposed to be easier, along with Michael Whatley. But she loves North Carolina, and she could have. And Ted Butter's doing a great job. I said, Ted, would you like to run? She said, I'll only run if Laura doesn't run, because nobody can beat her, which is really true. And she said, I think Ted would be great. He ran, he won, and he's a fantastic senator. But I just want to thank this group is a very special group. And Ivanka and Barron. Ivanka called me this morning and she said, have a great time today, because this is, we're going to be doing 4 of these today. 4. They're big ones. They're big. But we felt we could do the abbreviated version. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I have to get around. Do you mind if we speak for 5 minutes? And everyone said, I guess. But we do the whole deal. You've been with me from the beginning, and I'm with you from the beginning. So. And we have Barron, and Barron he got into a great college, and he's doing really well. Barron is watching us as we speak. He loves this stuff. Barron's watching with our First Lady, our beautiful First Lady. Oh, she's got the #1 selling book in the country. Melania, it's called. Go buy it. Buy it for Christmas. It's beautiful. I read it every page very closely before I recommended it. I didn't know. You got to be careful. Now, she wrote a great book, a #1 bestseller in the New York Times list. You know, for Trump to get on the #1 bestseller in the New York Times list, most people would consider it like virtually impossible. And she did. So that means she sold a hell of a lot of books. And so go get Melania. But Barron and Ivanka, say hello. And I want to thank you very especially. This is our last time now for forever. Well, we started this. Think how sad. We started this, right? And we started it really as a family unit 9 years ago. We've had the biggest rallies, the most spectacular rallies in the history of politics. It's the biggest and most powerful movement in the history of our country by far. And I say that in front of the fake news all the time. There's nobody can correct it. And I tell the story of Pat Buchanan. I like Pat Buchanan. Now he's a pretty old guy. I hope he's around. I think he is, but he's a pretty old guy. But he became very famous and very successful, and he was on all the shows for years, for 40 years, because he came in second in the New Hampshire primary. And he took that. We won 50 states, and then we won the presidency. And we did even better the second time than we did the first time, as you know. We had more votes than any sitting president in the history of our country. And things happened. And I said, you know what? We did so well. Let me see how they're doing. And they were doing horribly, because I didn't need to do this. And they were doing horribly. And I said to the family, I said to Melania, Barron, and I said to Ivanka, I said to everybody, I said, I think we got to do it again. We had, think of it, if I would have done badly in 2020, I wouldn't do it. It would have been easier. But we all know how well we did. And I said, we got to do it again, only because I looked at the incompetence, Afghanistan, all these things that were happening. You take a look at it, you take a look at how bad, nothing good was happening. We were disrespected all over the world. Other countries laugh at us right now, and now they're laughing harder than they've ever laughed before. And we're not going to let anybody laugh at us. It's not going to happen. So I said, let's do it. Let's give it a shot. And now the people, and it was, quite contentious, because you had some people, but now those people are real friends of ours again. And we have a party that's very well united. And most importantly, we're going to show up and vote tomorrow. And if you do, you're going to win. The ball's in our court. As they say in athletics, the ball is in our court. All we have to do is get out and vote, and we walk away with the greatest political event in history. But much more important, it's going to be the event that saves our country. Okay? So, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. They're really good kids. They're really good. That's not to say that I didn't have little difficulty with them on occasion, especially Don, but no, I'm only kidding. No, good speeches, good job. Thank you, kids. I'll see you later. Good. Thank you very much. And your father, thank you. Thank you. I didn't know what was happening. I saw all these cameras turned. I say, why are those cameras being turned away from me? What's going on? But in a way, they've become stars. They're just great They're great people. And you know, they do it because they love the country. They love it. Thank you very much, all. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. So here are the facts. And Kamala, now we have to talk. Oh, bring them up. Okay, come on, let's go. They all want me to bring them up. There's a lot of love. Come here, my boy. Come here, my beautiful boy.
We are 24 hours away from sending the greatest president this country's ever seen back to the White House. And I just want to say how much love we truly feel from everyone in Pennsylvania, but truly across the country. You guys are our family. We love you. God bless you. We are here fighting by your side, not just now, but forever, because we are so blessed to live in the greatest country on earth, the United States of America. We love you guys. Thank you.
This man right here is the greatest warrior America has ever seen. And our family is so damn proud of him. We will fight on this stage for as long as we're here. We're always going to fight for the greatest country in the world, which is the United States of America. Let's go win this, Pennsylvania.
Guys, for us, this has been an honor of a lifetime. You guys are the best, but now it's up to you. We can't do it by ourselves. It was always about all of us. It was about one country. It was about taking back our freedom, our rights from those who are trying to take away from us. So tomorrow, bring your friends, stay in line. Let's vote, vote, vote. Let's take back our country. Thank you, Pennsylvania, and thank you, America. God bless all of you.
Hello. Well, we love you, we support you, and my father's here fighting for you, and he's never going to let you down. So please vote. Let's get this country back on track. Thank you so much.
I shouldn't have done that. I got to follow that now. I'm not going to follow that. So kids, go back to work. Let's make sure everybody shows up tomorrow to vote, okay? Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful job. They're great. They're great. They're good people, and they love our country, but they really are good people. They're kind people. They have big hearts. They're strong. They can be nasty, but they have big hearts, those great children of mine. So here are some of the facts. Kamala is a radical left Marxist, rated even worse than crooked Bernie Sanders and crazy Bernie Sanders. I don't know, do I call him crooked? I'd say probably crazy, maybe for him is a better term. And Pocahontas herself. Kamala destroyed our economy. She was an original creator of defund the police movement, and therefore anybody who wants to defund the police even for one day, and she was there for a long time, is not worthy of being president of the United States. We need our police. We want to get our police back. We want to indemnify our police when they're unfairly charged. Kamala vowed to abolish ICE. She pledged to confiscate your guns. Would anybody like to give up their gun? No takers? I didn't think so. And endorsed a total ban of handgun ownership. You know that. She even called for free sex changes for illegal aliens in detention. All at taxpayer expense. And perhaps, worst of all, she lied. She never worked at McDonald's, okay? Never worked. No, she never worked there. I was there for 15 minutes. That's 15 minutes more than she worked there. And I have to say, those French fries are really good when you get them right out of that fat or whatever the hell they cook it with, fat. I don't know if it's good for you, but they are really good. In conclusion, with your vote tomorrow, we are going to fire Kamala and we are going to save America. We will cut your taxes, end inflation, slash your prices, raise your wages, and bring thousands of factories back to America and back to Pennsylvania. We love Pennsylvania. Something about it. Think of the history you have here. Think of the history you have, the political history. Is there any place like it? And this is a big one because think of this. Put this, add this with all of the other things that are, you know, for so many years famous by Pennsylvania and what you've done and how you fit into history. We win Pennsylvania, as I said. We win Pennsylvania. We win the whole bag of wax. We can have another one. We'll put that one on top. Let's try putting that one on top. They're pretty big. We have to... But this will be one of the truly big events in the history of our country. So why don't we have Pennsylvania be there for that? That'd be beautiful. On top of all the things we did. Because remember, we gave you the largest tax cuts in history, the largest regulation cuts in history, rebuilt our military, defeated ISIS, had no new wars, gave you right to try, the great, incredible thing that's saving thousands of lives, right to try. You don't have to go to Europe or Asia or just go home and die. If you have no money, you go home and die. You have the right to try new age medicines without having any problems, saving thousands and thousands. We gave you so much, and it's an honor. It's an honor, really. We will build American, we will buy American, and we will hire American. I will end the war in Ukraine, which would have never started if I was president. And I will stop the chaos in the Middle East. There's another thing, Israel, October 7th. October 7th would have never happened. All of those people that were hostages, hopefully are still, because I hope they're of hostage. I just hope they haven't been killed, but I think a lot of them are killed. I think a lot of them have been killed, but we can hope. But that would have never happened. That would have never, ever happened because Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas. They had no money for Hezbollah. We would have had peace in the Middle East. You would have had peace. Instead, you have all of the death that's taking place. It's terrible. And I will prevent World War III because you're just around the corner from World War III, and this will be a war like no other. This will be a nuclear war. And this will not be two army tanks going back and forth and shooting at each other. This will be a war. The level of power of these weapons is, you know, I rebuilt our nuclear force. I rebuilt our whole military during the 40 years. We did a phenomenal job in that, but in many ways I hated to do it. In many ways I hated to do it with respect to the nuclear. Because they're going over the power levels of various things that we're rebuilding. And I say, General, are you sure about that? The power is just crazy. It's obliteration. And we have people that don't have a clue and they're negotiating. Look, Ukraine should have never started none of these things. How about when you look at Afghanistan? That would have never happened. We were going to get out of there with strength and dignity, and we were going to be, was going to be a victory. It was enough. They were in there for 21 years or something. But the one thing I would have done is I would have kept Bagram, the big air base, one of the biggest bases in the world. We built it many years ago for billions of dollars. The most powerful, longest runways. They can handle anything. in the world, 1 hour away from China. Remember, that wasn't really for Afghanistan. That was you're 1 hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapons. And you know who has it now? China. These are stupid people. They took the military out first. They took the military. They said, oh, we had a plan. We had a plan. Mike Pompeo made the plan with me. We had a plan subject to all these different things that they had to do. They weren't doing them. They were doing some, but they said, hey, we're not going forward until they do the, we were going to be fine. But the one thing that wouldn't have happened, we would have never taken the military. You take the military out last, and we lost 13 lives and many people obliterated, and hundreds of people were killed on both sides. We will crush violent crime and give our police the support, protection, resources, and respect they so dearly deserve. We will strengthen and modernize our military. We will build a massive defense shield all around our country so a missile heads in our direction and we knock the hell out of it. We can have it. And Ronald Reagan wanted to do that many years ago, and he was right, except we didn't have the technology then. It would have been not good, but we didn't have today. You can shoot a pin out of the sky. It's incredible, actually, what they've been able to do. But it's all going to be made in the USA, and a lot of it is going to be made in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We will rebuild our cities, including our capital in Washington, D.C. We'll get rid of all the graffiti on those beautiful marble columns, and we'll clean it. And it'll be properly run, and we'll stop the death and shootings and muggings and everything. We'll make it a great capital, beautiful capital again. And we'll also make sure that our Supreme Court stays to 9 justices. We will teach our children to love our country, to honor our history, and to always respect our great American flag. And we will get critical race theory and transgender insanity the hell out of our school. And we will, of course, keep men out of women's sports. Every time I say those last two things, and I may add the open borders, can you imagine they're trying to defend open borders? Open borders, who would do that? We're the party of common sense, okay? We're really the party of common sense. But when I say open borders, we're going to close the borders, you say, can you imagine you actually have to say that? What the hell? I mean, who the hell wants open borders where criminals from all over the world can just walk into our country? These are crazy people, or they hate our country, or they think they're going to get these people to sign up and vote. I guess maybe that's it. But it's not defensible. But think of the last two. The transgender insanity. It's taken over. And you know, nobody's ever come up to me and said, I'd like to talk to you about that. I've never had any. They've talked about taxes. They've talked about economic development. They talk about or the last one, men playing in women's sports. Nobody's ever come up. With all the people, I deal with hundreds of people. I deal with people. I go into crowds. I ask them because I get better opinions from you than these crazy consultants I have for a fortune. But I've never once been said, sir, we have to do something about keeping men in women's sports. I've never had the question. I don't know. It's such a big subject. Nobody's ever asked me the question before. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Go back 10 years and say that a president from 10 years from now is going to be up there defending the fact that men should not play in women's sports. People would say, you're crazy. That'll never happen. Did you see the two boxes? Did you see the two boxes? They were men. They transitioned into womanhood. And they fought a very good Italian. They have women's boxing in the Olympics. And they fought a very good Italian young lady. And boom, she got hit with just a left jab. She went back to her corner, said, I've never been hit like that. This was just like a defensive. Oh, they could fight Iron Mike, I'll tell you. Iron Mike would say, this is not a good thing. I know Iron Mike, and he's a great guy, Mike Tyson. A great guy. He's a good man. Hey, Mike's been through a lot, but he could fight. Let me tell you, that guy could fight. But can you imagine Mike? Oh, he says, put Mike in the ring with Kamala. That would be interesting. No, but can you imagine? And these two men that transitioned, You'll be shocked to know they both won gold medals. In some of the easiest fights, they're announcing a certain woman, she's a champion here, a champion there, she's great, she gets hit, blah. That's the end of the championship. It's so unfair, so ridiculous. And it's very demeaning to women. I think it's horrible. I will defend religious liberty, I will restore free speech, and I will defend the right to keep and bear arms, our Second Amendment. And I did. They didn't touch it. After years of building up foreign nations, defending foreign borders, and protecting foreign lands, we are finally going to build up our country. We're going to defend our borders, and we're going to protect our lands and citizens. And we will stop illegal immigration once and for all. We want people to come into our country, but they're going to come in legally. That's all. We will not be invaded. We will not be occupied. We will not be overrun. We are an occupied country. Can you believe the things I'm saying up here? We are an occupied country. Take a look at Colorado. Take a look. Take a look what's happening there. Military-style weapons. Aurora. They're taking over apartment complexes. They're in the real estate business just like me. But I have to go out and borrow money or somehow pay cash. They just walk in and they say, you're paying the rent to me from now on, madam, and if you don't pay, it's big trouble for you. And the governor has no idea what the hell's happened, that poor guy. He's a radical Democrat. We will not be conquered. We will be a free and proud nation once again. Can you imagine? I have to say this. Everyone will prosper. Every family will thrive, and every day will be filled with opportunity and hope, and filled with the American dream. But for that to happen, we must defeat Kamala Harris and stop her radical left agenda with a landslide that is just too big to rig. We got to do it. So you need to get out tomorrow and vote. It's it. This is it. We're going to get together again, but it's going to be different. It's not going to be a rally. It's going to be applause for what we're doing. It's going to be better. Because these incredible rallies, and there may have been like 900 of them, a tremendous amount. This is over 9 years. Many, I know we celebrated 507. I remember 507, it was a few years ago. I think it's got to be close. I don't know, whatever it was. But it's hundreds and hundreds. And they've been flawless, right? Every once in a while, I'd make a little aggressive statement that people didn't like, but, you know. Don't forget, I'm rarely on the teleprompter. Isn't it nice to have a president that doesn't have to be on the teleprompter, right? Right, Dan? That guy, look at that guy. Stand up. That guy, he's such a good guy. You better bring him home because he has worked so hard in the election, Dan Muser. He's worked so hard. And you know what? Think of it. Think of it. If we lost, I'd call him up tomorrow. I'd go, I won't say it. Franklin Graham said, please don't use foul language. I said, all right, Franklin. He said, you can tell the story just as well without the foul language. Actually, he's not right about that. It's not quite the same. When you don't every once in a while, not a real bad word, but, you know, like a word. But he did say that, so I do my best. But I'd call him up with anger and fierceness. I'd say, you failed me. As opposed to calling up and say, Dan, you did a great job. I love you, Dan. Right? I think we're going to do the Dan, you did a great job. And you did, regardless. You did. Regardless. And all of these guys, they're all in. They're great guys. They're warriors. For the past 9 years, we've been fighting against the most sinister and corrupt forces on earth. That's right. With your vote in this election, you can show them once and for all that this nation does not belong to them. This nation belongs to you. You. This nation belongs to you. It was hardworking patriots like you who built this country. And tomorrow, 4 years we've all waited for this. 4 years of rallies, good ones and bad ones, but we didn't have any bad ones, I don't think. We had no bad ones. But 4 years, think of it, 4 years, and now it's tomorrow. Tomorrow it's hardworking patriots like you who are going to save our country. All of this was to really, all of these hundreds and hundreds of rallies were to put us in position to do something great for our country. This is, in a way, the harder part. Honestly, beating all these people and fighting all of these people, going through the lies and the vicious statements about you and your family and everything. But all of that was worth it. It puts us in position to now be able to do the job. And we're going to do a great job for everybody, for 100% of the people. We're going to do it for Democrats, for liberals or progressives if they prefer, which they do prefer. But we're going to do it for independents, and we're going to do it for everybody. We're going to do it for everybody. And you're going to be so proud of your vote. I really want you to look back and your family to look back. My dad, my mom voted for Trump. It was the best thing that they ever did. That's what we want. Otherwise, we've made a mistake. And we felt the love. We would have never done this if we didn't do so well the second time. We did better the second time than we did the first time, if you think. After all we've been through together, we stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years in American history. We're really something. With your help, we will restore America's promise, and we will take back the nation that we all love so much. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. We will never give in, we will never give up, we will never back down, and we will never, ever surrender. Together we will fight, 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 and win, win, win. November 5th will be the most important day in the history of our country. We're going to turn it around. We're going to turn it around very fast. You're going to be very proud. And together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America healthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Pennsylvania. We'll be back. God bless you all. God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much.
Did y'all catch what he just said? At the very end there, unless it was a slip of the tongue, did you hear what he just said? He said, "Thank you very much, Pennsylvania. We'll be back." It's got one more rally, actually 2 more. Next one, I believe, is in Pittsburgh. The one at this point is probably going to be close to, I'd say, 7. Let's look at this for a second. From here, from Reading right now, he goes to Pittsburgh. Not sure how far that is. I'll look it up. And then he's done tonight in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And he just told the people there in that arena, "We'll be back." I don't know if that was Freudian, if he lost his way, if he said something he wasn't supposed to say, but the man said, "We'll be back." I know he chooses his words very, very well. It could have been a mistake. He could have just blurted it out there. But when you gonna be back, bro? You already know something we don't know? Could that possibly be the answer? I didn't say it. He said, Pennsylvania, we'll be back. And there's no other rallies in, where's this? This is Reading. So he's heading to Pittsburgh. I don't know. Just something he said. I picked up on it. What you saw today, and I hope a lot of you saw it, he brought up the entire family. It looked a lot like what's probably going to happen tomorrow night. Basically, the only people missing were Melania, Barron and Ivanka. So, while you guys were watching this, I'm getting text, I'm looking at DMs. There is so much news breaking. He doesn't even know it at this point. Just to give you a quick one. He was talking about that boxer that won the Olympics in boxing and how, the guy was, quote, transitioning and he won the gold medal. Well, since he's been traveling, he probably hasn't checked, but the Olympic Commission came out and said the guy, he's a guy. I've never heard the term. I don't know exactly what it means, but they said he's got the chromosomes, and then he's got something called how do I say this without being too overly descriptive? He has a micro-weenie. I've never heard anything described as such, but he's got the right chromosomes and a micro-weenie. Their word, not mine. I'm not in a medical profession, but I never heard of a micro-weenie. The whole word was spelled out. Besides weenie, you can insert the word. I don't know what a micro-weenie is. I can imagine. But that being said, some stuff happened. The first of which I have to show you is this. Oh, hold on to your hats when you hear this one. Let me make sure the sound is up because I didn't have a chance to edit it.
Anything to her advantage. I definitely will not be supporting Kamala Harris. If she ever got anywhere close to power, it would be a disaster for this country.
This gentleman is one of the founders of Black Lives Matter. One of the founders of Black Lives Matter decided today, yeah, I'm voting for that Trump guy. She's got to be ready to just jump off a cliff at this point.
Historically, the Democratic Party has been the party Black people overwhelmingly vote for, but we haven't gotten anything in return. So to me, that's the definition of insanity. I've been a lifelong Democrat. I voted for Biden in 2020, which I do regret now. I come from a family of Democrats. I just felt like after 60 years, our ghetto still shouldn't look like a bomb was dropped in it. The education system and school systems should not still be horribly failing. Crime and the poverty should not be so absolutely abysmal as well. For so long, we've just been blindly loyal to the Democrats.
Haven't I been saying that for literally months? That eventually people have to wake up and go, hey man, y'all been in power forever. You've been running these hoods since they've been hoods, and nothing has changed. It's generational poverty. I've said to you guys many a times, there are parts of Hartford, Connecticut that I could drive to, and it looks like the land that time stood still. These people, they're not there. They've been my age. They've either passed on or they may still, but their kids and their grandkids are still living in those damn projects. How is that possible? Yet, they'll all, in Connecticut, walk to the booth tomorrow and vote Democrat.
Party, the Democratic Party, for no reason. They have given us no reason to have such loyalty and to maintain such loyalty to them. And many people were doing a lot better under Donald Trump. He implemented opportunity zones for the Black community, where it was tax incentive based and it was incentivized investments into the Black neighborhoods, which is what we needed to revitalize our dying economy. Whoever feels like they're not being heard and is interested in conservative policies and conservative politics can look at Donald Trump. And how could you not want to follow someone like that?
Yeah, I'm in the twilight zone. We're officially in the twilight zone, people. When you see stuff like that, you realize at this point, what I've been telling you, you know what I've been telling you about him whittling off the Black vote in the hood. And now you have one of the founders of Black Lives Matter who protested across the country going, we screwed up. These people are useless. They're giving us nothing. Now you realize it? After burning down the cities elsewhere, now you want to tell us that? Seriously? Something wrong with you people. And so yesterday I showed you a video where Mark Halpern, who used to be with MSNBC, and he was the one who exposed that that crazy pollster who said, "Oh yeah, Trump's gonna lose in Iowa. She's up by 3." Well, that lasted about 24 hours. So let's see what kind of news has come out about, that pollster. Less than 24 hours, people dig, and X provides. The quote from the Barris on his show, Rich Barris, who is a big pollster. "I knew about the Seltzer poll on Friday. Everybody wondered how I knew. They thought I was lying. I'm going to tell you how I knew. Because somebody who was very upset that Ann was calling, laughing hysterically, talking with surrogates, talking about what she was going to do. Quote, I'm going to drop a bomb in this SOB's lap. They got so mad they called me." She made it up. It was designed to do, it was like a mini October surprise. She pushed her credibility off the cliff. Just go away, credibility. I mean nothing anymore. I have to make sure that Kamala Harris gets in, so I'm going to basically destroy my credibility and push this bogus poll, and then I'm going to get found out, and I'm just going to have to slink away. Just walk away. So Mark Halpern, who exposed her, then came out this morning and said this.
On the pro-Trump's going to win side, in terms of data, the early vote continues to be a problem in terms of how much of a lead she has and the underperformance of black voters. And let's see tomorrow where we are in Pennsylvania. But I think the delta of the Democratic lead is going to be much smaller than even Democrats said they needed to win Pennsylvania. We'll see, but that's something to watch. In addition, the kind of conventional wisdom amongst Democrats is, and they're buoyed by Ann's poll, is she's posing strong Trumpism, and that undecided that David Plouffe argued last week are breaking her way. I think right now, people ask me all the time what's going to happen. I think right now, I continue to believe that for a while, it's not going to be close. Either the makeup of the electorate is going to be 55% female and she's going to win, or it's not and she's going to lose. And that could be wrong, but I don't think it's going to be different state to state. I think in 6 or 7 of the states, the electorate will be so strongly women and so women so strongly for her that she'll win, or not. And that'd be my guess right now, that it's going to be one way or the other.
One way or another, turns out that Trump's going to win. Because even he's saying she's only got one shot. And that one shot she's got is to hope and pray that the women are coming out. Well, those of you who were here at the beginning of this show, I showed you some data that the Trump campaign dropped out there. So let me just refresh, since you just heard him say the only way that she can win is if the women come out in droves. Well, I read this earlier. The female turnout in Arizona for early voting is 170,000 to the negative. The female turnout in Georgia is down nearly 50,000. The female turnout in Michigan is down 205,000. The female turnout in North Carolina is down 155,000. Let's continue. The female turnout in Nevada is off 126,000. The female turnout in Pennsylvania, drum roll, is down 450,000. Not a misprint. And the female turnout in Wisconsin is down 238,000. You see why Barry's starting to do a little dance himself here? You understand what I'm seeing? Oh, you don't? Let me drop some more news on you that just came out. All right, so I got to show you this one. Oh, how about this? Can we get some of this? Okay. The Georgia Supreme Court reverses the Fulton County judge who ruled that Fulton County and surrounding Georgia counties are allowed to count absentee ballots picked up at cherry-picked offices in deep blue areas. Not gonna happen. If they're not in by the deadline, they don't count. I've been telling you, I keep telling you and giving you information. This ain't 2020. The judges are stepping up. Laura Trump must be just learned something from 2020 and said, here's how we file these cases, because over and over and over, she's winning. They are winning in court. The Supreme Court of Georgia said, you got until 7 p.m. tomorrow night. That's it. None of this, hey, we're going to count stuff for the next 2 weeks to see what happens. Not in Georgia, you're not. Ain't going to happen, girl. You better have them in. You're done. Fulton County, whatever's in the box at 7 p.m., that's it. That's it. You're not getting beyond that. There's no midnight dump. That's it. It better be in-house by 7 p.m. or it doesn't count. Can I go back to this? Can I take you back to this so you can actually just recall what you just heard? When you just heard that the urban votes in Georgia are down 153,000 votes. The female votes are down 46,000, nearly 50, and the rural turnout is up 171,000. Fat lady may not be singing, but right about now, the fat lady is drinking some honey and lemon her tea, and blah, 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 and she's gargling. She's getting ready. The fat lady is out there doing sound check. This should make you a little dance going on. It feels good. It feels really good. Unbelievable. Another court decision for the Trumps. Unbelievable. I hope you guys are following this. Let me just tell you this. Oh, you want court decisions? Okay. Let's look at this one. Breaking: Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton just deployed his legal army to the biggest cities across Texas to identify and prosecute any election fraud that occurs. So Ken Paxton said, I understand what you guys are trying to do and turn Texas blue, and you're trying to get Ted Cruz beat, but you know what? I'm backing up the truck with all these attorneys and investigators and prosecutors, and let me see what you got now. The Election Day Rapid Response Legal Team will be equipped to enforce Texas election laws and take, quote, immediate action on any contingencies, including issues seen in previous cycles. You mean like in 2020? See, we already know what we're looking for, so they're ready to take immediate action on stuff we've seen in previous elections, such as ballot shortages, extended polling location closures, and improper extension of voting hours. Similarly, the OAG will be prepared to take defensive action against activist groups who might attempt to influence the election through litigation. The good news is coming thick and fast. Maybe I should call Megan Thee Stallion because I'm feeling like I should be twerking right about now. Oh yeah, fat lady's starting to sing, Barry's starting to twerk. You feeling it yet? Oh, it keeps coming. This one. All right, so that was that. Then you get this one that comes out. Laura Trump breaking confirms that the RNC has an election force with 230,000 polling observers and poll workers, as well as 500 attorneys in every battleground state. Yeah, it's coming. Oh, it's just juicy. It's getting juicy. It just keeps happening more and more. Oh, what else did Ken, Paxton do down in Texas? Here's something for you. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's federal election monitors are not allowed in the entire state of Texas. Get out. Step You're done. They're not permitted in any voting facility and should be denied entry with this letter from the Secretary of State. So Kamala and Joe were thinking about sending people down so they could peek and look so that Merrick Garland could do something. Well, the state of Texas, the good state of Texas, said, not today, Satan. Not today. All this has happened while he's been on stage. They've moved into phase 2. Phase 1 was, let's make sure we get people out to vote early. Now phase 2 is, let's protect the vote. You can't say this wasn't synchronized. It happened too quickly for it not to be absolutely synchronized. And because they synchronized it, basically at the 12th hour, as I mentioned earlier, with 2 minutes to go, you can't respond this fast. What's Merrick Garland going to do? Say, oh no, we want to force our way in? We get to do what we want? I'm Merrick effing Garland. I'm the Attorney General. Nope. Elections are handled by the states. That's why Ron DeSantis got his act together. That's why Texas has their act together. That's why Georgia is seeing the rulings that they're seeing. That's why Pennsylvania, it's happening, people. Okay, I know the music's not playing. I shouldn't go right now. I shouldn't do it. Should I not do it? It's getting crazy. Getting absolutely crazy. You guys need to understand we are close. Fat lady's not singing yet, but she's out there. She's doing sound check. And I'm just letting you guys all know. So he's going to be coming back. Let's see here. He's supposed to be back at 6 o'clock in Reading. I'm not sure if that's going to happen as it's 5 o'clock right now. How far is Reading to Pittsburgh? Reading to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's 4 hours, but he's not going by car. So let's look at the flight information. He should be able to get there probably in another hour from the time he gets on the plane. Probably not, with the motorcade, like I say, half hour out, half hour back. Let's see here. Yeah, about an hour. About an hour. Let me just make sure. Flight time, 38 minutes. All right, so it's 40 minutes to get from Reading to Pittsburgh. Traffic during rush hour, let's give him 30 minutes on either side. That's an hour plus the hour of plane. That's 2 hours. So we're looking at about 6:03 on the ground. He might be able to make 6:30. Let's plan on 6:30. But I just want to make sure you guys all understand. I threw a bunch of stuff at you really quick there. A whole bunch of stuff. What about New York? Do the Trump dance. Oh, I got my Trump dance in here from before. But it's coming, people. It's coming. They can't, you guys who've been around, who may have followed that 17th letter of the alphabet, and you know what? No one can stop what is coming. All this stuff isn't by accident. Everything I just showed you happened while he was on stage, and I'm like, this is so much. This is too much information. The left must just be freaking out. Like, oh crap, we can't, you're down 450,000. I'm gonna close with this, right? We'll go ahead and do super chats, but I just want you to see this again. It is this important for you to understand. Those of you who maybe challenge math, it's not even that difficult. Pennsylvania, which is the state everyone says if you win Pennsylvania, it's over. They're down 380,000 votes in the hood. The urban areas. That's synonymous with hood. That's where most of the stuff goes on. And you're down 450,000 with women. I said it earlier. Trump said the same analogy, which I love that he said. He said 1 yard line. I said 5 5-yard line. We're up by 20 with 2 minutes left. Hail Marys are going to be very tough because we're about to go in and score some more. And then we'll kick it off to you, and you're going to be down 28 points with about 1:45 left. Good luck. That's why he's feeling it right now. And that's why he had his people release this internal data. Remember, in case you joined late, this data came from Trump. It's his, you know what the people always say? The internal polls say this. That's his internal data. The news ain't talking about it. You ain't going to see it on MSNBC. None of them. This is internal. And he decided to launch it today and say, have at it. Let me know what you're going to do about this. 450,000 down by women. 380,000 down in the hood. Have at it. Let me know what you got. Am I being overconfident? No, at this point, it's not even overconfident. It's just looking at the data. And if you think I'm being overconfident, you tell me. You can look at it yourself. And you tell me where they're going to make up 450,000 female votes. You tell me how they're going to make up 381,000 people in the hood. That's why I'm confident. That's why I'm saying right now, it's time. It's time. Start the twerking. Where's Megan? Hey, Megan. Hey, Megan. Hey, Megan. I'm ready. I am so ready. We got 2 more rallies tonight. We got the rally in Reading, and in Pittsburgh, and then we got the midnight ramble in Grand Rapids, Michigan, which we're gonna be up late, but I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it, y'all. All right, so let me do the super chats and get you guys out of here. Thank you. Is it working? Yeah. Thank you from Deanna Pro. Barry do the doogie. We got another one from Sharon. Thank you for yes, thank you. Thank you for watching and everything you guys do as well. Let's see. Let me click here. $9 from Beverly Linton. Maybe the mod text message is concerned about the Dems being tipped off about how many fake ballots to conjure up to win. Good luck. They're all watching. Everyone is watching right now. Let's see what you do. It's going to be kind of hard to come up with 500,000 votes if there's only this many people registered. Good luck with that. I wouldn't want to be playing in that sandbox with the eyes on them. This is where's that? Barry, a little something for you. Your beautiful wife and daughter and the mods love your channel. Thank you very, very much. From Cheshire Cat, we have several 2A free weekends in Mississippi. Rights should not be taxed. Yeah, George. You guys got to be seeing this at this point. Data is data. Numbers don't lie. Understand that. It's not me putting stuff out there or reading something incorrectly. The numbers don't lie, people. Where am I? Rana, where's Rana? Oh, do you think for 1 minute that foreign leaders would meet with Harris? They will not deal with any female. I don't think so. I really don't think so. Especially not her. I mean, Larry 1754. How do I show an image by post instead of L? I'm not really sure what that means. How do I show an image? You can't show an image in YouTube. You can do it on our X profile. Our X group. Vance Bridges, females of all ages need to go out with a friend, loved one, or at least with protection. Save our females from these monsters. Absolutely. Barbara, Trump tomorrow, better days ahead. Yeah, we just got to make sure he's prepared and protected to get into office. Wade Nielsen, thanks Barry for all you and your moderators do, and thank you for the biggest laugh on the moose knuckles. Don't Google that. Whatever you do, don't Google moose knuckles. This is from CAD, proud supporters Trump 2024. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Wade Nielsen again. Thank you very much. G Mark, the sheep and the goats are separating and lining up. That is true. Texas 750 Cruiser. Thanks for all the knowledge you have shared in this election. God put you in the path of millions of people. Thank you very much. And Marino, thank you. And Barbara, thank you very much. So, in closing, I just want to make sure you guys all know. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait. I got a couple more pages. Excuse me. Donna, thank you. How can they riot if it's too big to read? They don't care. It's a sport for them at this point. They don't care. The people who are going to be rioting or trying to disrupt things, they don't care. When Trump takes stage tomorrow, he's like, thank you very much, I'm heading to the bunker. Because these people are about to go crazy. Rubio was fire. I can't even pronounce it. Barroicas para Trump, Puerto Rico. Okay. I have to learn some Spanish. Maddie Wanders, I went to rally today. North Carolina is red. Awesome. I wish I could have been there. William Flanagan, if you can't stand AOC as much as I do, type. Anita Davis, Barry Mannion, we just appreciate your hard work and patriotism. Thank you. We got your back. Thank you very much. Joy Kirkland, thank you, Barry, for showing us the data. I appreciate it. Those panicking could be trolls trying to scare the rest of us. Not going to happen. I don't know why people get upset. Maybe they've got 2020 syndrome or something. But, I keep showing you the court cases. I keep showing you data. At some point, you have to realize for yourself, this is a lot different. A whole lot different. And it seems like they waited and went, go. Which I love. I love that they did that. Nancy Jennings, thank you very much. Realizing time differences. What time do most polls close? Most polls close between 7 and 8 p.m. in the time zone that you are in. So, obviously, West Coast is going to be later than people here on the East Coast based upon the clock. Ken Romolino, I wish you knew about the auditions to Vamba. If you haven't seen that video, maybe you might not want to watch it, but it's pretty bad. Pretty bad. Catwood, Barry, they're burning ballot boxes in Portland. Yes, they are. They're burning the ballot boxes. They're doing stuff with the cats. They're doing stuff with the dogs. And now they're doing stuff with dolphins. Finding Dory. When T wins, can we overturn California? I don't know. Somebody said they live in California, and they were told today that it's close. That's very interesting. Cat Wood, thank you very much. And Georgia Cat Lady. I have a contact in California, Carl DeMayo of Reform California, who has indicated the same thing. I've said it all along, California's in play too. I just don't know how it can be. How is Newsom, with all the stuff that they're doing over there, everything that they're doing over there, how is it even close? I don't know. Did I miss some people? Yeah, okay, I missed that one. I remember, Sharon, that's new. I think it is Sharon. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, that's Deanna Sheila. Love you, Barry. Your personality is a good thing. Thank you very much. And then Chris A. I didn't see that one. I almost ended this. Thank you very much. Donna, again, if it's the same Donna. A lot of people going to jail soon. I won't sleep tomorrow. Neither will Trump. In 2020, we all woke up to a nightmare. I'm hoping that it's over before we take the nap. Chris A. Love y'all. Thank you, Barry. Thank you. Thank you to Steven Zeromsky. And do we need to register for the drawings tomorrow? So, let me just go over what tomorrow is going to bring. Tomorrow we're doing probably two shows. We're going to do an early show, and we're going to do a prayer vigil during that show at I'd say about 6:30 or so. And then we're going to go into our election coverage at 7. Then I may do something a lot earlier, something around 2 o'clock. So you're going to have a 2 o'clock show, which is like pre-election, little pre-funking. And then 6:30, we're going to have a prayer vigil. And then 7:30 or so, we're going to start the election special. So stay with me all day again tomorrow. I figured if I did 3 yesterday and 4 today, that I can do 3 tomorrow to close it out. We're going to give away gold and silver tomorrow. And Here's a little bit of silver. And here's a little bit of gold from Lear Capital. So we're going to give stuff away tomorrow, plus the hoodies. To register, I didn't change the image, but if you are entered to win a hoodie, you will also be entered to win the gold and the silver. I'm going to pick it the exact same way. So if you want to enter to be into the gold and silver, just go ahead and put that in there, and you'll be registered to go. In addition to that, let's go ahead and show you this. If you want to join our private membership, which is free, go to fanfareshop.org/group. It'll take you immediately to our X group, and from inside that X group, you will be able to see all the content. We'll get you approved, and in there, it's completely free. No big deal. Okay, wait a second. They updated Trump. All right, Trump, based on his travel time, let me show this to you so you can see this. It's just been updated. This is perfect. All right. So he is going to expected
At this point, he's starting to take
to speak at 7 p.m. So if he's expected to speak, that means he's going to show up about 7:15. So I'm going to put up the banner, and I'm going to call it for like 7 o'clock just to be safe. But then I may end up kicking it back according to what I see his time frame. So it's 5:15 right now. Let's count on 7:15ish, 7 o'clock. I'll check it out. But thank you for tuning in to this. Lots of news. You guys should be happy with a lot of things. Oh, I had one more come in late here. Actually, two more. Stephen Zoronsky, again, thank you very much. And Lynn Gedmeyer, the last one. What's it say? The last one tonight might be the one where he tells us his secret. I'm hoping. All right, we're going to see you guys in about 2 hours. Get some rest, get some food, some dinner. I'm about to play the intro, which some people say it may cause seizures. So look away if you are prone to that type of thing. Things are looking great, people. Talk to you in a couple hours.